Okay, we're live. We have myself, Thomas R. Howell, and my best friend, my best man at the wedding, at my
Let's go.
wedding, John Saylor.
Good morning.
You're just waking up, huh?
Yep. I've only had one sip of coffee so far. Let me take another one.
Oh man. Well,
I still have my eyes are still kind of like puffy,
I like it. That's the best way to start.
I should just
We had
splash this in
6
my face.
people, and then the moment you started talking, and it just went down to 3.
That's the best. That's the best. That's the best when you start talking to people like, yeah, no, I can't
Yeah,
listen.
no. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite fantasy books of all time, Name of the Wind. Oh,
Get
you
my
don't have your
copy.
copy? You're supposed to show your copy. There it is. There it
Name of
is.
the Wind.
We're going to talk about Name of the Wind today. We're going to try to keep it spoiler free as much as possible and really just kind of talk about
No.
a lot of broad stuff, and then we'll eventually dive into spoilers. We'll give you all a warning. But we're going to kind of start out with, I guess, how we came to discover Name of the Wind, and I guess how it affected us. For me personally, I'll start. I was in the middle of reading Harry Potter. I had started book 3, Prisoner of Azkaban, and for my birthday that year, one of my good friends gifted me a copy of Name of the Wind. And I don't know why, but I put Harry Potter down and I started Name of the Wind, and I just did not put it down. Couldn't drop it. I was lost. And I was kind of a new reader at that time, to the point where I wasn't a consistent reader, and I really didn't know what was out there. I had no idea BookTube was the thing. I had no idea there was anything outside of Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. So this book right here changed my life. I know it sounds crazy, but it did.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me realize that there are other books out there, especially in contemporary fantasy, yeah. What about you, John? I think I know how it goes.
You gave me the book, and I was like, I'll read it.
I give this whole feel, and you're just like,
I have no emotional attachment to this book other than the fact that you gave it to me.
Oh man.
But I will say that my dad actually, when I first started, or early on in my reading journey, my dad actually gave me this book. He didn't give it to me, but he had a copy, and he was like, "Oh, you should read this."
Wow.
When I want to say, because the book came out 2007, is that right? Something like that.
2007, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was a junior in high school at the time, and when it first came out, my dad read it, and he was like, "It's a good book." He's like, "I like this a lot. I think you would like it." And I'm like, because same thing. Or I guess not same thing, but I read a lot of fantasy and sci-fi novels, and he was like, "This is kind of up your fantasy niche here." It's kind of in the same vein, so I was like, "Okay, I'll read it," but I never got around to it until you gave it to me again, like 15 years later.
But also, there's more to that. I was pestering you and nudging you constantly, and I apologize for that, but I don't apologize.
No, it's okay. I'm used to it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, you're used to it. You see me get excited about something, I don't drop it, and I'm doing the same thing to you with Lonesome Dove. But
yeah. Well, I'm glad that you pestered me, because I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and it is a book that I will 100% reread, because I feel like there's more to be had than just through the first read. At least for me. I'm not smart enough to where I can understand every single dot and iota that goes into a book first time around. So I got to usually reread it a couple times before I really understand fully what the writer's trying to say.
Yeah, yeah, and Patrick Rothfuss has a way with words like no one else, in my opinion. I
Yeah,
think.
especially a book like this. But yeah, but like Harry Potter, you can read that once and you know what's going on.
Oh gosh, just cutting right into comparing it to Harry Potter. I mean,
Well, you're the one that brought it up first.
I did. I mean, it does make sense why it gets compared to Harry Potter. It's about a kid, school, magic school, money. Although Harry Potter doesn't have to deal with money like this kid has to. I mean, Harry Potter gets everything handed to him. Even his friends solve all his problems for him.
Yeah.
Whereas Quoth in this is kind of on his own. And you struggle with him.
Yeah.
But real quick, I'm not gonna be as active with the chat just because I want this conversation to flow with John and I want you guys to enjoy John here and what he has to offer when it comes to talking books and talking Name of the Wind. So please don't take it personally if I neglect you in the chat. I see, some Persona 5 right here. This is great. I love that. Name of the Wind is like the book you read slow and savor each sentence. Totally agree with that.
True statement.
I have this book slated for late August-ish. Okay.
It's a good
Awesome,
time.
Jedi. And then great book. I missed the time when I was reading the first book and the sequel. Yep. This is a book I wish I could wipe my mind and reread it for the first time again. It's something else.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Started Name of the Wind last night. Found a donated copy. They were given away at my local library. Figured, wow, a donated copy. It's that old, huh? It's just kind of, it's in the free bin.
It's being tossed around now.
Yeah, it's just being tossed around. And here you go. No name right here. Best prose in modern fantasy literature, probably. I like it.
There's an argument. There's to be made for that one.
Toby Crab, phenomenal guy. He's a big friend of the channel, and he huge fan of Name of the Wind, The Last Unicorn, and we have great conversations.
Awesome.
Okay, so writing style, or how about not writing style? What did grab you at the beginning of reading this book?
Let's see what grabbed me. I think, well, speaking of writing style, I think just the prose of it was very easy to read. Very easy to read, but at the same time, it still felt profound, like it felt simplistic in its nature, yet profound in its delivery. And I think that is where Patrick Rothfuss really excels. Like you always say, you could watch, him write about paint drawing. And honestly, I thought that was funny. But after reading this book, I realized that, you're right. Like he's really best in this book when he's talking about mundane things. Like that's when he's the best.
Yeah.
Which is a big pro, but it is also a little bit of a con when I'll get to the cons later. But I really thoroughly enjoyed his writing style. I thought it was fluid. I thought it was easy to read. I thought it was something that honestly more writers should do, especially modern writers. Like just take their time with describing some things and not just expect people to know, just expect people to know things that really are unknown, especially when you're diving into a world that, will, even though it's a medieval type of fantasy, it's still like, I still want to know like what even the most basic of items look like, and Patrick really excels at kind of describing those little things like a door handle and stuff,
It really grounds you in the world, especially with the intricacies of money and the fact that he took the time to describe money and the importance of it and the difference between the currencies and how that ties with the importance of Quoth and his upbringing. It makes it that much more immersive, but also to me, I think it emotionally ties me to the character and what he's going through.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the big thing with Name of the Wind, where I don't know, I was a new reader, and I ate up, the first two books of Harry Potter, and I loved it. It was just such fun, made me feel like a kid again. But with Name of the Wind, I didn't know you could tell a story or chapters and chapters of just such mundane things
Yeah.
and it'd be interesting. And the moment I knew that or recognized that, I felt like I was discovering fire for the first time. I don't know why, but
Yeah, the way he describes, like, in the beginning, like this makeshift armor that he's putting together with like leather and chaps and like I just think it's so cool. How it's like, oh man, this is, this guy's just putting together some things that back then, or not back then, but in that world would be easily kind of accessible to an extent, like something that the everyday man could get. And it's not like a knight in shining armor sort of deal where it's like, oh, he's got all this stuff handed to him. It's like, oh, I got to go find the scraps, like some man's trash is my treasure at this point, and I just feel like he does that very well throughout the entire book. Yeah.
yeah.
Love it.
And one thing to tell y'all, it's been a while since I've read this. I've only read it once, and John here is coming off a fresh first read. So, although it's been a while for me, the book sits in my soul and my mind vividly. And I mean, I can't remember every little detail. John, you're going to have a much more fresh take on it.
Mhm.
But I know the broad strokes, and I can still be a part of this conversation. So I'm not going to be able to go into it as deep as you are. However, I do want to, yeah, talk about how did you feel reading this? Like kind of going
Um,
through the journey.
in the beginning, it's kind of weird. It goes from excitement, kind of like, oh, a lot of wonder,
Yeah.
like a lot of wonder, like a lot of, excitement and mystery. And then it goes to a little like some depression and kind of just like, man, I feel horrible like as I'm reading this book because I feel bad for for quote. But then and then it starts getting, kind of out of the wondrous phase into like a more hopeful setting once I mean, I don't want to give spoilers, but there is a university, which I think it talks about in the back of the book, so that's not really a spoiler. But right? Doesn't it
Yep,
talk
it says it right here, so you're good.
okay.
You're good.
Then he goes to a university, which is more hopeful, but still he's struggling the whole time, but there's more hope there for what he's trying to find. Um, and then it kind of circles back after this long, arduous journey, just kind of back to where it started, where it's like, wait, what? Wait, what happened?
Like
Wait,
nothing has moved and
am I?
progressed.
Wait, yeah. Have we progressed? I don't know. I feel like I go back into the mystery. Like I feel like I end with just as much mystery as I entered. That's kind of my journey when I was reading this book, which
I
is not
mean,
a
for
bad thing.
me,
But
I think that's not a bad thing.
yeah.
But if you're going into this book thinking it's going to be a very plotted out thing, very, I don't know, you've got your 3-act structure, you've got your, the highs and then the lows and then that resolution, and you've got this big boss battle at the end. This is not your typical book. This is not your typical fantasy book. This is not for everyone. It is very mundane. It is very slow, sometimes too slow to the point where, yeah, nothing is really happening. Like you
Mhm.
said, you're kind of back to where you started. Uh, but that's something I always hold on to and will continue to talk about and praise about this book is not necessarily the book itself, but the impact the book had on me and how I appreciate slow things in life, the slow moments in life. slow moments in books and stories and video games. I used to think I had to, yeah, constantly watch every, Marvel film and Star Wars film and, the typical movies that have that 3 act structure. But now I can enjoy things that are so ordinary.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening. And that's Name of the Wind started that for me.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think that it definitely does not take the traditional route when it comes to the 3 act structure.
Yeah.
I don't even chronicler, like the guy that's actually writing the book, that's documenting what quote is saying, because that's kind of how the book it's told in a narrative style through quote, who's talking to somebody, and that somebody is called chronicler, who's writing his
We
story
haven't even
down.
really told people what this book's about, like the elevator pitch. You want to give that to them? I mean, I know you're kind of doing it.
Do they? Oh, okay. I mean,
Well, what's this book about?
well, the book is without giving anything away, it's about this kid who is an extraordinary. He has a lot of talent, but he kind of comes from nothing. Yet he has a lot of potential, and then something traumatic happens in his younger years when he's a child that sends him on this journey where he's basically becomes an orphan. I don't think that's. I think that's as much as I'll. Is that too much to say? I'll just say that I shouldn't. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't say that part. But anyways, he goes on this journey um, of struggle and turmoil, and he's seeking a mystery out, a mystery through the entire book. That's kind of like that's the main kind of theme, is that he's seeking out this mystery, but along the way he's also discovering things about himself and about this. The world has magic in it, and he's becoming more powerful in that sense. But then at the end of the book, he still kind of results in trying to find what he's looking for, even from the beginning of the book. I don't know. It's hard to say without giving too much away, but
It's different because it's also. I mean, this wasn't the first book to do this, but the quote,
No.
the term of frame narrative, where the main character is telling you his story. So there are interlude chapters where you have the present day, in quote's life.
Yep.
And then he's telling this gentleman, this traveler known as the chronicler, his story. And the chronicler has heard of his story. Oh my gosh. Real quick. That is so kind. Waystone Inn Coffee Fund.
Nice.
I appreciate that. Let's go.
Honestly, some of my favorite parts of the book are in the Waystone Inn, in the interlude chapters. I love the interlude chapters. I think they're so funny because Chronicler is, you can tell Chronicler's like, what do you like? What can we get this thing moving?
I love that.
I love how, and he's kind of like, Chronicler is the guy that I relate to the most because he's just like, okay, like this is taking a while. Quoth, like, what are we talking about? And Quoth is just like, trust me, it'll all make sense in the end. You know?
Yeah.
And I just think it's so funny,
Oh man, I'm now taken aback where I'm picture myself in my old room, my little room for rent. And I don't know why I did quotes on that, but my little room for rent. And
you rented it, sure you did.
The summer of 2021, I think. I was diving in. So it's such a cozy book.
It's very cozy. Yeah.
It's such a cozy book, and I think it helps you slow down in life. And I know I'm kind of reiterating it again, but how slow the book is, you're just kind of
this book will slow you down.
Oh yeah. If you're thinking you're getting Harry Potter, like, okay, you got to solve this mystery by the end of the book. Who's the bad guy now, and who's Voldemort, and who's Darth Sidious? Like,
honestly, that might be why this book has gotten a lot of flack in the last, I don't know, 5 years, is because people have become they need that fix so quickly, that this book doesn't give that at all. So I think that might be why, like, nowadays people are reading it and they're like, this book is it provides nothing. It doesn't provide me that dopamine hit that I get every 3 seconds when I'm reading another book, you know?
Yeah, like, books have changed now,
Because people are
and
just when they read books, they treat it like crack now. It's just
yeah.
like, I gotta get that dopamine hit fast, you know?
I was
And then
talking to someone, I can't remember who, but they talked about how they skip a lot of the descriptions. They just get straight to the dialogue, or, like,
that
they
is
skim through it and, like, real quick, boom, boom, let's get to the dialogue.
it's like, let me see the conversation without understanding any of the context about what they're talking about. That makes no sense to me, but okay.
I know, and by the way, John is a gentleman who, you read Dune and Lord of the Rings at the age of 10?
Yeah, age of 10,
So
that's when I started reading, like,
yeah,
heavy hitters. Yeah. Yeah, Dune.
John is my favorite guest you have invited so far. Thanks for this. I'm sure it's gonna be great. Man,
Aw,
that means
thanks.
a lot.
Thanks,
Uh,
Dimitri Rebel Yell. Appreciate that.
um, real quick, Toby Crab, it's the pinnacle of high folk fantasy, the intimate storytelling of folklore and quiet rumors. Ooh, ooh, that is good. It
Well
captures the
said.
feeling of Dungeons and Dragons, the warm, humble atmosphere in a rickety old tavern awaiting adventure.
Yeah. It feels very I don't know, it feels like, have you ever I don't know, it feels like a Quentin Tarantino film.
Oh, like
Like,
Hateful Eight?
yeah, like Hateful Eight, where it's just, like, so just you're kinda just like, "What are we
What?
doing here?" You
Yeah.
know? But then, yet you still I don't know, you're just like it's almost just like marinating. You're just marinating in that for so long that when things happen, it becomes little things happen, it's very satisfying, you know?
And not just satisfying, but
You know?
impactful.
Yeah.
It's such a slow burn of a book, and we're kind of going into different subtopics of, like, pace and writing style, but
Yeah, we are
how the
jumping
pace
all over.
of this book, when it's that slow burn, and if again, if you're looking at Name of the Wind through the eyes of postmodern, like 2016 and up, uh, you're gonna wanna you want that quick, dopamine hit. You're not getting that from this book, and it's
No.
very slow, and you're kind of wondering what's happening. What's the point of this?
This is a
There might never be a point, but sometimes when
sometimes
something
there's no
does
point.
happen, yeah,
Sometimes there's no point, sometimes it's just because Patrick Rothfuss was cooking in that moment, and he was like, I'm cook like, this is feeling good." Like, he just keeps writing about this thing, and it's like, "Okay." And you can kinda tell, you're like, "There's no point to this, but I still love it." You know, it's so good that I'm still gonna read it, you know? Um, oh, I was about to say something, but I forgot,
no,
but
go.
it's okay. Well, let me touch on I did write a couple,
I
notes
like
here
it.
for
Let's do it.
more pros, and we might have already touched on some of these things, but so we can just gloss over some of them. But
Keep
uh,
cooking. Just keep talking. I'm hugging my
okay,
wife. She's going to work.
so I love his form of world building through storytelling and quotes experiences. I love how the world building is not. He doesn't. They don't. He doesn't just like lay it all out for you in the beginning, and it's like, all right, now let's jump into it. It's very mysterious. Very. It's almost like it's being revealed to you along the way while you are being told the story through quote, which I love, um, because it also makes it easier because you're not like, okay, let me remember this fact and
Very
where
good
this
point.
place is, and kind of like how you've talked about at length, when it comes to world building, like more of a Brandon Sanderson approach where it's like, let me give you the world and then I'll throw you into it. Patrick Rothfuss does the opposite, and I like it. I prefer this type of world building where it's like, let's just see the world through the eyes of Quoth. And he uses a lot of storytelling in the beginning where Quoth is like listening in a tavern to an old guy. I forget the old guy's name. It starts with an S, I think. But
Oh,
anyways,
well, there's Cobb.
it's yeah,
Oh, Scarpy.
yes, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's so cool because he's telling the story, and you can tell Quoth is just locked in as a little kid.
Yeah.
But anyways, there's some of that where it's like, okay, but it's through storytelling. It's very organic. It's not. It doesn't feel like I don't feel like I'm reading a book at times, which is kind of weird to say, but I don't feel like I'm reading like a history book. Like sometimes Lord of the Rings can feel like that, where you feel like, okay, like now here's the history portion of this book,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So I do love that, and I also love. So the world building was great. I like the.
Well, let's keep touching on the world building. Don't just skip past that.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, unless you're cooking. Are you cooking?
I'm not cooking.
All right.
I'm just. It's simmering, but it's not.
All right. Well, the world building, what I've often described as like an onion, it's like one layer at a time. He's not going to just throw the entire onion cut up, and then you have to like pick up the pieces, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's all this? Got to
Right.
organize all this.
Yeah.
It's so organic, so natural and subtle. It's ambiguous.
It feels more like when I think about it, I feel like I'm given like a complicated Lego set, but he's telling me like this piece goes on here and this piece goes on here. It's like we're building the world together almost, which
Yeah.
is so cool,
Yeah. Yeah. And just like this, all stories within the story are awesome. I love stories within a story, how people are telling a story. So Quoth is telling you a story, but then sometimes they'll refer to a story being told within his story. I know it
Yeah.
sounds complicated, but you're just it puts you in that world.
Yeah.
You feel like you're in there. And like you
Oh, yeah.
said, you're not reading a book sometimes. Sometimes you're
Yeah.
just in the world. And that doesn't happen very often with a book. And I think he just knows how to do it. And it's my preference of world building. Some people, they just throw it all at you at the first couple chapters, and you just got to work out. You got to figure it out. You got to lift all those weights, and it's tough. You got to navigate a lot.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, you don't get like a world origin story or like a creation myth
No.
for a while, and you don't get historical tales until a handful of chapters in. I mean, you get
Oh, no. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many chapters in this thing. It's
and the chapters are maybe half a page long sometimes, which is
yeah,
nice.
the chapters are like the interlude chapters are literally 2 pages at the most sometimes.
Yeah. Which kind of helps with the pace of the book, but to me,
Yeah, I mean, that's a very modern like S type of writing where it's like very short chapters, So, which is okay. I mean, I like that. I honestly, preferably, I think that longer chapters allow more context to be given, and allow more breathability. So that is one thing that I wish Patrick would give which is kind of weird because it's like it sounds counter to what I was saying earlier, where it's like he gives so much. But what I'm saying is in terms of, he'll talk about like just this one moment, and he'll talk about it at breadth, but then or at length, but then that's it. And it's like, wait, can we stay in that moment and then continue on and see organically how it gets to this next moment? And you don't really get that at times. Sometimes it kind of just skips to the next moment, like a couple days later or something.
But I could see, looking at that now,
Yeah.
I could see that maybe because the story is being told by Quoth, you're only getting little bits and bobs. You're not getting the full picture.
Yeah.
You're getting little vignettes. Although the vignettes here are much more detailed than some stories I've read where, the main character is telling you their story. Sometimes it just paces too quick, whereas Patrick is like on the complete opposite end where I'm not rushing through this.
Yeah.
And I understand where he gives time to certain moments and then not enough time to another moment.
Yeah. And I'm kind of tapping into a con I have later, but yeah.
No, go ahead. I mean, what other little bits do you have here?
So I mean, overall, I love the world building. The magic system, I want to talk about that.
I was going to actually ask about that.
So juicy, so much consequence. That's really the word that comes to mind when I'm looking at this map. So much. I mean, there's so much consequence that there's like I don't know if it's the masonry. I forget what it is exactly, but basically there's like a massive fire that happens at some point. I won't give it away, but it's just there's so much consequence in the magic system. And it's really, you can tell that Patrick Rothfuss, it's not like Quoth is just in the world and there just so happens to be magic. It's more of, oh, this magic system is a part, like a big piece to this puzzle that he's putting together, you know? It's all connected. Like it's like Harry Potter can feel just very like, oh, it just so happens to be a fantastical world, and they're going to use magic for their convenience, you know? Which is kind of how Harry Potter feels. Which I don't, you know, it's that's that's one of the things that if you're a mature reader and you're reading Harry Potter, you're just like, okay, it's just fantastic. It's just fun, right?
I was
Good old,
just gonna say it's fun.
yeah, it's good old fashioned
Doesn't
fun.
have to be- yeah, Harry Potter is not, Harry
Yeah,
Potter's
yeah.
not, yeah.
But in this book, the like magic, using magic, has consequences. Using magic can kill you if you don't know how to use it properly.
Yes.
It will kill you. Not just can, it will kill you.
Yeah, and it's very grounded in like science and
Right.
elements, and it's very I wouldn't say unpredictable. It can be unpredictable depending on how you're.
If you don't know how to use it, the less, like, I guess the less experience you have, or the less, um I don't know, just like it depends on the level of which you're at, right? Like if you're less experienced, then the more magic you try to use, the higher the chance of you hurting yourself, right? Um, which is something I think that modern day like magic systems slash even in like films, like I think about like modern day Disney Star Wars and the Force, just like the
Yeah.
Force, which we all
Yeah.
growing up were like, oh yeah, like of course you gotta go to Dagobah and you gotta find a master and you gotta be trained in this, and it takes time and it takes discipline, because this is not just, even if you have the ability to use the Force, it's still like there still needs to be a lot of work on your part, because this is a dangerous thing and you can't just go and do these things and use it and use it successfully, without actually training, and having that discipline, right? And the building blocks that are needed. And I think that this magic system it's the opposite of like the Disney Force,
Yeah.
where the Disney Force now is like, I mean,
Everyone's a Jedi,
if
You
if
can do
you
it.
if you if you're susceptible to the Force, then you can use it.
Yeah.
It's all, oh, how much you believe in yourself, which that's an aspect. But what I'm saying is the work, right? Getting to that point where you can actually become a master at it, that has been lost in in Star Wars, modern day Star Wars.
Yeah.
Um, and I think about that, how this magic system is not like that at all. It's very much like you need to be trained. Even though Quoth is he's exceptional, right? He is his ability to understand, to remember he is he's basically a boy genius. Like, that's what he is, in this world. But even still, like his masters and stuff are far superior to him in magic use in every way, right? And even though he knows his own capability, he still respects the magic system and the reality that it can kill him, right? Even though he pushes the boundary at times, but he still understands the consequence. He still respects the magic system, um, and his masters and stuff. And it's just so nice, because it's like a breath of fresh air when you're reading that. And like nowadays, it just feels like that discipline that is just not in movies or books anymore, where it's like, okay, you gotta train.
There's
you
everything,
know
in my opinion. I mean, I know you have some cons, and there are
Yep.
things that definitely get solved a little too easily, but majority of this book, there's so much struggle and just low moments for Quoth that things do feel earned
Oh yeah.
more often than not, and that's so rare. And that's why this book is just so, it just I latched onto it. Uh, Things feel handed to a lot of characters in
Yep.
a lot of other books, where that journey doesn't feel like it was a journey worth going on because you didn't see the struggle, you didn't see how hard it was. And this magic system, man, it's not like a flick of a wand and saying a Latin word. This is this you got to pull from an energy source.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a fire near you, you might have to pull from your own body heat.
Yeah.
And
that has severe consequences.
and one thing that still on the magic system thing, there's hard magic systems and then there's soft magic systems.
Mhm.
This is more of a soft, where things are left to interpretation. The author hasn't given you this full spreadsheet of how, like the fractions of, okay, if he uses a quarter of this and a 25% of this, and then he could cast this spell. No, we don't know exactly how it works. We know a little bit, and I like that because then we can be surprised. The author can use it for narrative beats and surprise us, surprise the characters with it. Whereas if you lay the entire magic system down on the ground right before the book, it doesn't leave much to the imagination. And for me, I think that takes out some of the immersion.
Yeah.
And Sanderson is known to do hard magic systems where he has a whole legit spreadsheet in the back of the book, and he'll remind you how a certain magic system works constantly. And I think Wheel of Time did a good job with that, with not having a spreadsheet, but also working with the magic system and kind of surprising you with it, but reminding you every now and then across 14 books. But yeah, now I'm getting off topic.
No, you're good. You're good. Good magic system.
I'm right there with you. I didn't like Mistborn either. It was tough. And Mistborn is, one of Sanderson's books, and there's this magic system where you use metal. You're pulling, you're pushing, you're pulling, you're pushing. If you put a little bit of copper in your mouth or something, or ingest copper, then it's very video gamey. And I think that can be fun for people getting into reading, especially if you're a gamer. But Name of the Wind, man, that magic system is up here for me.
Yeah. It feels it's the most, for lack of a better term, it's most like realistic, I guess you could say, magic system that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Feels like physics is actually being considered when he's writing the magic system.
I bought this recently. Currently 220 pages into the book, so this live stream is the kick up the butt. I need to finish it. Heading out to avoid spoilers. Well, Eden, I hope you enjoy it. I know that was 4 minutes ago, so maybe you're still here, but
thank you, Eden.
Hope you enjoy it. Back on the world building real quick. Toby, the world building's brevity is beautiful. It's a shorthand geography. Noir might be nowhere, but other locations are here and there. It flows free as the breeze. The travel isn't torturous. I like that. I need to buy one of. Toby is an author, by the way. I don't know if you know his name says author.
Oh yeah.
I need to get one of your books, man, because I love the way you just write comments on my videos. It's impressive. But yeah, so any other things on the magic system and what you have?
I do like how mysterious the magic system is at times. Like you were saying, he doesn't give you everything up front, and I just like that kind of ambiguity. And that kind of like ties into like probably my last pro.
Oh no!
Which is
we got to end on a good note though, but we'll do your cons.
Well, no, I'll get in on a good note. But my last pro is that is just the sheer
talking.
Okay, it's just the sheer mystery of this novel. The mystery of everything from who quote really is to what's actually happening in the world. You don't really get a lot of information on what's going on in the world at all. You get bits and pieces here and there, but you don't really know what's going on outside of the the perspective of Quoth at all. So you don't really but it's not. I kind of like that because it's a breath of fresh air when it comes to, like I said, world building. I just like the mystery. Um, I like the focus in on Quoth's perspective, especially since he's telling the story. And then going back, and then when we look at the interlude chapters, it's kind of, you can kind of catch your breath and be like, okay, we're back in the modern times, you could say. And then you just go back right into it once they kind of have relaxed for a second or two, and Chronicler has rested his hand and wrist like he's
Golly.
he's always like resting his hand and wrist. I don't know if you noticed that, but every interlude chapter it seems he does that. But it's kind of funny.
That's kind of what you would do anyways when you're stopping.
No, yeah.
And also you can imagine during, Quoth telling you a story, that Chronicler is legit writing all of it down, which is very cool to think of. I've never really thought of that.
Yeah, he's writing it all down. So, and he's like, I can write faster than you can talk. So he says that in the beginning, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I just like the sheer mystery, and that mystery, for those who haven't read it, the mystery is gonna be there all the way till the end.
Spoiler free. Like,
What?
I don't know, because it's a live stream and I would hate to spoil things.
Yeah.
But I mean, what are your thoughts? You want to talk about that later?
I mean, it depends. I feel like there's a lot of people or it seems like we're getting 50-50 on people who have actually read the book.
We got 21 people in the chat. How many people have not read the book? Do you want us to dive into spoilers eventually, or do your cons go into spoilers?
I mean a little bit, but I can
blatant spoilers.
I can caress it to where.
Okay. let's keep caress.
Yeah.
Caress.
Caress. Yeah.
Let's keep. Okay, so
I'm using
Trulian. I have not read the books. Okay, well, we're gonna keep it spoiler free as much as possible. I do like this point back on the magic system. I've completely forgot about naming. That's something, like, knowing the true name of things is an aspect. Hence name of the wind, and that may go into spoilers, but it is a very cool. That's a good point with sympathy having a little more of a foundation that's familiar when it goes in and out of use of it. And then whereas naming is definitely everyone's still kind of learning and not knowing true names of things, to have control over them.
Yeah, naming is, I guess this isn't really, like you're saying, a spoiler because it's name of the wind. But naming is very much a mystery in this book. And you see it in the beginning, you see it in a little bit, not really in the middle, but you see it in the beginning and in the end. But it's very, very minuscule. There's not much there. It's minimal. It's not in your face. It's not trying to figure out, what naming really is or anything. So it's a mystery through and through all the way to the end of the book. And I'm assuming, I haven't read, what is it, A Wise Man's Fear yet? The Wise Man's Fear, I'm sorry. Haven't read that yet. So that one's more of a juicy book. So maybe it'll get into that more. Does it?
I'm not telling you anything.
That's kind of a question.
Here's a good question, actually.
I will read The Wise Man's Fear.
I like that. But after or before Lonesome Dove?
Oh, probably after. I don't like reading a series,
That's a good point.
Like, I like staggering the books.
I like
between
that.
other books.
Can Name of the Wind be read as a standalone, or do I need to read it as a series? A brief elevator pitch to read this book. I think it's interesting because of how it's written. It's not like, oh, well, now I need to really read the second book. Yeah. I think it's satisfying. It's enjoyable as a book.
Oh yeah. If you like, it depends on what you're looking. It depends on if you're like what is your desire when approaching a book? Are you, or specifically this book, I should say, are you looking for a juicy story with a lot of fantastical elements that are going, everything's going off the charts, you got big battles and all this and that, and you're looking for a nice start to finish, just pure story?
Everything's kind of tied up together.
Yeah.
Things resolved.
If that's what you're looking for, you're gonna be disappointed. But if you're looking for a book that's very well written and that really takes its time in having you understand the character, and not just what the character thinks, but what the character feels and what the character's kind of what he's discerning, in the story through his eyes. This is a book that, you're gonna like it. I mean, I think you could read it as a standalone and it'll be just fine.
People complain about, oh, there's no third book. Well, would you rather go through your life having not read these two books, not experiencing these just because there's not a third book? Or do you want to hold out and wait? Maybe there's never a third book, and then you never get to read these books. You never get to experience the words that Rothfuss wrote.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I think it's still very much worth reading and experiencing.
It's very similar to, if I can bring in film, it's very similar to like Dune Part 1, where there's a story there, but it's a very slow pace, yet you can watch that as one film and still enjoy it. If you watch it as two films, it's going to be even better, but it can still work as a single film, if that makes sense.
That's a very good point.
And I see The Name of the Wind as the same, where it's, yeah, you can read it as a standalone, and if you like reading, and you like reading not just for the sake of the story, but for the sake of how the writer writes, then you could read this as a standalone, no problem. And I like reading books just to see how a writer writes. Sometimes the story doesn't have to be extravagant, it doesn't have to be anything, extraordinary. I just want to read what the writer is trying to say, like I just want to read the prose. And
Yeah.
if it's good, I can stay in the book, and I can read it from start to finish and feel satisfied.
That's why I say I could read Rothfuss describe paint drying or grass growing, because his talent and what he brings to the world of literature, I've just never seen that. And I know I haven't read much, so I'm only comparing only a few authors, but my experience with Rothfuss is otherworldly. It's a one-of-a-kind experience, and I'm okay with reading for a writing style. And that's the funny thing is, I know we're going to get into cons here in a bit, but I feel the experience of reading Name of the Wind and Wise Man's Fear and all his other novellas far surpassed. The experience is what sits with me more. How I felt is what sits with me more than the actual intricacies of the plot or the character work. I don't really remember that as much.
Same here. Yeah.
And I don't think that's, even if I reread these, which I will, say I don't like the character work or the plot, how it's organized, I'm still going to love it because of how it's written. The style, the pace, the word choice, the sentence structure, the rhythm. It's incredible.
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, if you like reading for the sake of reading, you're going to like this.
Dune, I'm all in. Currently reading The Watchmen, my first graphic novel, and then maybe we'll get my hands on this. Hey, then that's great.
Watchmen's juicy.
I hear it's a little more accessible. I think Name of the Wind is more accessible than Dune, the book. But yeah.
Yeah, it's more accessible. There's more going on in Dune, that's for sure.
Okay, let's keep rolling. So what do we got? We've lost half our viewership, but that doesn't matter. We got 12 true Name of the Wind.
All right, for the people who are ready for the cons, the real ones, right?
All right.
Here are some things that I really, I don't want to say didn't enjoy, but I thought could be better.
Okay, hey, I love it.
um, just and this is again, this seems counter to what I was saying earlier, but the story definitely there's some dragging at times. There is some moments where I feel he is taking away, he's dragging on certain scenes, just certain sections of the story. And then he gets into another section, which feels like this section should be really like delved into and really expounded upon. But sometimes he just doesn't expound upon it and he just kind of goes on to the next. He treats, I don't know, it's kind of weird because sometimes, and in the beginning, you'll see that it takes a while for him to get to certain places. you know, it takes a while, and the whole time you feel like, okay, this is building to something, something's gonna happen, and then nothing happens. And you're like, something's gonna happen, nothing happens, and then something does happen at some point, but then that thing that happens is very short, and then you just move on to more mundane.
Oh, he found a shirt. Okay, he
To more
now has
mundane
2
things.
shirts.
Oh,
Okay, good.
he found some bread.
Oh,
This
good.
time it's soggy bread.
Oh, and he found a room for rent. That's good.
Yeah, he found a room for rent, right? And then and then this happened. Then he did some magic, and then oh wait, actually no, that we'll just skip that part. Let's move on to talking about how the buildings looked for the next 3 pages.
But,
Okay.
oh, it's beautiful though. I love it.
No, it is beautiful, but this kind of leads in, and this I think that the book just needs to be longer. Like I really think that the book needs to be longer. It's
I
too
agree.
short. It's too short for Patrick Rothfuss's writing style. Like he's doing himself a disservice by kind of cutting himself short on certain parts that I think should be expounded upon. Because I don't want the mundane things to be shortened. Like that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I wish that some of the more quote unquote important aspects of the story should allow there needs to be more breadth. Like what am I saying? There needs to be just more room, right, for him to really dive in and really think about what he is writing and describing things here and there, and not just feeling like, oh, let's just do this short little action sequence and let's make that a couple pages, even though this is the first time we've seen action in I don't know, like 35 chapters. But anyway, and then let's move on to another 18 chapters of mundane things.
Well, okay, I have a little argument there. And I'm
Okay.
not really trying to like hold on to anything, but what if action is just realistic in that sense? You're not going to get, a 45-minute lightsaber duel, that lasts forever.
No.
And it drags on too much. What if action it really just does happen like that, like Sicario?
Right.
And I know, horrible comparison, but my example is this 8 to 7 second, or like this very like 11-second scene where action just boom and it's done. But
yeah,
when I
say action, I'm not talking about
I know what you
necessarily
mean.
like fighting or anything like that. I'm just talking about something that happens in the story that's very profound, that shifts the story. Something that really like, oh, after this quote is he's going to change. Like this happens, and now the way he views the world is going to totally change, because there are some moments in there. There's a few, very few, but there's few moments in there where that happens. And maybe you're right. Maybe Patrick is like, oh, it's just a moment, so let's just keep it as a moment instead of expounding on it. But I think that at times, if he would just let the moments breathe more, I think that there would be a little more satisfaction out of the reader,
That's a good point. And that satisfaction would then
because you gotta
longer.
Because as a writer, I've never written a novel or anything, but as a writer, I would want to feel like my readers have earned something, right, by investing time in the mundane things, and then once something profound happens, to also give them some satisfaction there. But I think Patrick doesn't, I don't want to say he doesn't care about the reader, but he definitely puts his writing style and he definitely puts his his desires before the reader's desires.
That might be a good point.
And I don't know if he's doing that intentionally. I don't necessarily think he's doing it intentionally, but I think it is happening throughout the book, and I think that there needs to be a little more give and take when he's writing, where it's like, okay, let me give the reader some more of this,
Yeah.
Let me satisfy the reader. Let me help the reader and just give a little bit of a palate cleanse, in terms of the mundane things, and give him a little more juice here, because at times it's a grind. There are times when it's like, okay, I'm grinding through this. Even though I love reading it, story-wise, it feels like a grind at times. Does that make sense?
No, that actually makes great sense. You are providing so much for this conversation, and the way you expand on your thoughts. It's not just, hey, let me give you a negative thought for the sake of being negative. You bring it. I love our conversations, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
And that's it, guys. See ya. No.
And that's it. Don't read it. No, I'm kidding.
All right. What's next?
Well, I said it needs to be longer. So this kind of ties into a kind of a pro I had earlier, but it's like two sides of the same coin sort of deal, where Rothfuss seems, so when he's writing, and this ties into actually what I was just saying, when he's writing the mundane things, he's like hitting it. He's like firing on all cylinders, right? When he's writing like these, like, what is her name? Ari? I think Ari, is it Ari, the one that lives in these, in the I forget what they call it. Under something. She basically lives in sewers. But anyways, when they're talking, it's just very mundane, very, very, but the dialogue's so beautiful, the way he describes her hair blowing in the night, in the night wind. And then he describes a leaf just kind of, just skipping across the ground because of the wind blow. And then he describes how the moon is, or how the reflection of the moon is coming off of the windows and the buildings and the roofs that are on top of, and the steam coming. I don't know. It's just beautiful. Like all these little mundane things and conversations that are insightful, but not necessarily impactful in terms of story, but they're very insightful in terms of the world that they're in, the immediate world. That being said, where I think he's so strong in those mundane things that I think in the more important, like what I was saying before, when it comes to action, or not action, action's not the right word, the moments where things, where quote really changes, the moments of real impact, where all of a sudden this happens and his life, the way he sees the world, is going to be changed. I think Patrick doesn't write those scenes as well, in my opinion. I think and this ties into the fact that he just doesn't allow himself enough time in the story to like really expound upon what he's trying to tell the reader, and there's not really much satisfaction there. And I think that Rothfuss just seems out of his element when he's in those moments, when he's out of the mundane, when he's out of like the things that are typically hard to write. And then he goes into the more easier things that I would think would be easier. Maybe they're not, I don't know. And then he just falters a little bit to me,
Do you have an example?
Like the battle, or not the battle, but just like the whole dragon. I shouldn't say that. Sorry, I take that back. Because actually there's not a dragon. So
we got 10 folks in here. I'm pretty sure these 10 folks have we probably got, we got Writing Yogi, we got Toby in here.
There's actually no dragon. There.
Oh no. He froze a little bit.
That's kind of a lie. There's no dragon. But there is a certain something that happens towards the end. Yep. But that whole sequence of events, in terms of like the actual interaction with this thing, the way he describes it is great, but at the end of it, it feels like, so why did we go through this? At the end of it, at the end of it, I'm like, wait, so you're telling me that all this was just kind of, it just kind of happened, and there wasn't really anything that, at least from what I read, it didn't seem like I may have missed something. I could have totally missed like a little detail here or there, and that's why I say I probably need to read it again to find the little tidbits.
Mhm.
But it feels like sometimes these things that happen where you're like, oh, this is gonna lead to something, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, it feels weightless at the end of it. you
I
know?
I get that, and
Um,
maybe you're right on some moments, and maybe all the moments. Who knows? But I think again, this subverts your expectations. This whole book, this whole style, it does not glorify the high and mighty, high fantasy of saving the world
yeah,
and climbing mountains and castles and defeating all the evil monsters and being the hero. This is such a mundane, ordinary story with some pretty fascinating elements to it. But when something does happen, like you're describing, there's this
yeah.
moment with a creature, there's a town, there's kind of a side journey. And yeah, maybe it leads to like, huh, but maybe it just doesn't
It,
glorify
it feels
that.
like a side. It feels like a side quest. It feels like a side quest that happens that they just so happen to stumble upon.
The dungeon master was just like, guys, I got nothing tonight. You guys find a little lizard guy and
It feels a little forced. It feels like, okay, we got to throw something in there just for the sake of throwing in there. Because when I'm reading this, Patrick, he loves the atmosphere. Like,
see
I
right here,
mean,
Toby.
Guiding Yogi's talking about.
I get that comment about the not dragon. It was still wonderfully written. It had heart and soul, but it felt an urgent addition of action and fantasy element in an otherwise patient novel.
That's
Like
exactly what
moments
I'm.
before that,
That's exactly what I was about to say. It's just
having
it
a
feels like it
conversation.
was kind of thrown in. You know.
Yeah, and he has a conversation with a like a traveler or farmer for
Yeah.
like 5 pages, and then yeah,
Yeah. A swine herder.
yeah, a swine.
A swine herder. And this conversation really, it's just a little. It's like a little bit of world building. Maybe that's about it.
It's like when your dungeon master gives you a kobold to play with for 2 hours whilst he figures out the rest of the quest. Of course, I know him. He's me. Yeah. Yeah, trust me. I get it. I get it. You definitely
Um,
want impact and weight.
and I think, well, the fact that moment is towards the end of the book.
Yeah.
And so you feel like you've given a lot of this time, you've invested into the mundane, you've bought in, you're like, Patrick, I'm all in. I want to go on this mundane journey with you. And then that happens, and you feel like, oh, wait. So the consequences of this is nothing. you know, like it feels weird. It feels thrown in. It feels a little forced, to be honest. Um, but I mean, it was well written. Kind of like
I
Toby there
do.
was saying, it was
I
very well written.
I remember where that is in the story. I mean, there's 6 people in the chat. I'm pretty sure we can just spoil this moment, but he's with this girl, Denna, and they go off on this. They think this blue fire is the main villain.
People might also watch this after, so we gotta be careful. You know.
Okay. All right, then I'll be quiet.
Blue
But
fire, though, you can say blue fire because
blue
that's
fire
towards
is a
yeah,
big thing, and
yeah.
there's a connection there.
Mhm,
But then they come to this little place where pretty much nothing happens.
mhm.
Like that, I know exactly where it is, and that's I remember where it dragged because at this point in the story, I'm just like, oh my gosh, are we going to solve this mystery or at least confront the mystery? And then you don't really, because then, like you said, it does become a side quest. It subverts that expectation. It changes what you're expecting of that hero's journey. Right here, writing Yogi completely departs from the hero's journey, and that's something we aren't used to. Emulating Tolkien has become the norm. So when we get a novel like this, a series like this, it exceeds expectations. I adored the subversion of it, though, thinking of the blue fire belonged to something, but instead, Dragon Cow. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I think my problem is that it's at the end and it's built up to be something. My
again, If it
That's
was longer, like you said, if we had 400 more pages, then I'd be okay.
I think if we had another couple hundred pages of a little more just and I'm not even trying to get like some crazy big like battle and all this and that. I just want Quoth to it also feels like Quoth is he is not satisfied at all, at any point in this story. And if the main character is not even satisfied, why the heck are we supposed to be satisfied to any degree? Which might be, that's part of Patrick. I think that's part of the subverting expectations that Patrick is trying to do as well.
I think that's the point, though. Like, this mystery is so hard to solve. It is unlike any other mystery I've ever experienced in a fantasy book where, I guess the quote unquote Dark Lord or just this evil villain is very hard to discover and uncover. And that ties into the world building, which I've never been so fascinated by. I think this is I've pulled this idea into my D&D campaigns like all the time. I love that. A bad guy that just you don't know. You don't know who it is and I love that. Anything else of cons and
Yeah, my biggest con yet.
okay.
And I've talked to you about this. I think that Quoth is set up to be this incredibly gifted genius boy, right? Full of talent, full of possibility, right? The potential is off the charts, right? And I love that. So he's kind of set up to be like more of a Mary Sue situation where he's kind of got, when I say Mary Sue, I don't mean, I'm not talking about like a Bruce Wayne type of Mary Sue where he has family that loves, well, actually, I guess Bruce Wayne didn't have any family, but that's not example. But what I'm saying is Bruce Wayne was like rich, and he's got all these things, he's got all the resources, right? Yeah, Quoth doesn't have any resources, that's for sure. But when I say Mary Sue, I'm talking about the genius aspect of him, right? How he is so ahead in terms of like where he, especially at his young age in the story, he is so far ahead of his peers, right? He is he's a Mary Sue. I'm just gonna be honest. Like he's almost like a chosen one type of deal where it's like this guy is different, right? And that's a good thing. I don't want to read about somebody that is boring, although I think Patrick Rothfuss, if anybody's going to write about a boring person, it's going to be Patrick Rothfuss because he's good at that. But anyways, the point is that he builds Quoth up, right? Okay, and then Quoth has traumatic experiences, and then Quoth kind of he's lost a lot of resources. He's at the kind of end of his resource rope, so to speak, right? He's basically, I don't want to give anything away. But anyways, so he's doing that, and then he makes his way on this journey. And throughout the story, though, he gets to points where he is set up with so much potential, and he's able to navigate his way into the university, through means that nobody else has ever done in history, as far as I can tell in the book. And he's so clever, right? He's just so clever. But then there's moments where you can tell, like, man, how does anything gonna affect this kid? How is like nobody can stand against this kid.
He's
right?
always 2 steps ahead of everything.
He's always 2 steps, 3 steps. I would say 18 steps ahead. This guy is literally 18 steps ahead. Okay. And then all of a sudden, things you could tell, like, oh, Patrick's like, okay, I gotta throw something. He's got to have some weakness. He's got to, like, somebody's got to be able to trip him up. And then he dumbs down Quoth to the point where it's like it feels he dumbs him down so that the plot has to be driven forward at times, right? And that is my biggest con, is that I could not stand moments when it felt like Quoth was just being dumbed down. It felt like Quoth was being minimized. His ability was being minimized in order to progress the story forward. And going back to like the blue fire and all that stuff, the blue fire is a big mystery throughout the entire book, even into the end. Even the quote unquote dragon, it's not really a dragon, but quote unquote that creature, right, has blue fire and all that. But it ends up, not being what. Anyway, I don't want to give too much away. But anyways, all that. So Quoth, he makes this journey and he's trying to discover these things about this blue fire and what it means and stuff, and about this old folklore, this tale, about these certain things that maybe that's what the blue fire means and stuff. And he goes on this journey and he gets to a point where it's like, all right, finally I have the resource. I'm in the place where I can finally discover what this is about. And he does the dumbest thing in the world. Like literally the dumbest thing in the world.
I think
and that is the reason.
About Ambrose with the
Yes. Yeah. I didn't want to give that away, but there is an arch enemy in the book.
Talk about the arch enemy. I think the best Malfoy. Like the best.
I disagree.
In my opinion.
I think that he's better than Malfoy. That's for sure.
That's what I mean.
He's way better than Draco Malfoy, if that's what you're comparing him to.
He's got a foundation, man. It's good stuff.
Ryer, who I love the pick, man. That's a good. I love the profile pick on that.
That looks like me right now. I'm getting a haircut on Wednesday, everyone.
Oh man. But anyways, sorry, that just threw me off when I looked at that.
It's like, what do we got here?
But anyways, he does such a dumb thing, and this dumb thing cost Quoth one of the only reasons. Like his biggest desire was to be in this specific place in order to discover more about these archives, this blue fire, right? Can I say the archives? Yeah. He wants to be in the archives every single day and discover more about this blue fire and stuff. And he does the dumbest thing, to get kicked out of the archives, and he can't go back in ever. All because of this one idiotic and I could see it coming from a mile away. And I'm like, if I can see it coming, Pat, like you don't think Quoth, who's actually in this world, could see it coming? Because I'm looking at the world through the eyes of Quoth. I shouldn't see it coming, right? I shouldn't. But it was like so obvious what was happening. I was like, this feels cheap to me. That moment it honestly took me out of the book for a little bit. I was like, this feels really just really cheap, really, like it's almost like Patrick, he built Quoth up so much that he didn't know what to do. Like he had to do something so clever that he wasn't even able to figure out something clever enough because of how much of his Mary Sue he made. That. And that really took me out of the story for a moment. I mean, it hurt, to be honest. When I was reading it, I'm like, man, everything's been so clever so far, and all of a sudden you throw this wrench into this story that makes no sense. Something that I could see it come from a mile away. I mean, it's like I knew what was happening as I was. I'm like, okay, this is obviously Ambrose. This is not gonna end well, and this and that, and Quoth is just, oh really? Oh, and he's like, he turns into this idiotic child almost. It's like he reverts so far backwards. He turns into like a typical 13-year-old that, like almost, I would say even maybe prepubescent. Like that's how he turns into such a child. And I'm just like, and it's in the most important place for him. This is not me. This is for Quoth. Quoth is talking about how important this place is. And you would think that he would do anything. He would put up any guard that he has to protect him and his place, right, in that, or his access to this place, right? And I get it. You could say, oh, he was just super excited that maybe his emotions got the best of him. The problem is that doesn't really happen very much previously to this, so we don't see a whole lot of that. Yeah, he's an emotional being, but he's not emotional he's very in tune with his emotions through most of this book, through 99% of the book.
Which right? is so rare at that age.
Exactly.
It's rare at age 25. Like,
yeah, it's rare at age 45.
And nowadays, yeah.
And it's just, so when that scene happened, it felt like Patrick he kind of set himself up a little bit for failure by building Quoth up and then having to dumb him down for the sake of progressing the story. And for the sake, because after that, everything Quoth does is to either get back into that place or to figure out another way to discover what he's trying to discover. Like that moment is the most important moment in the book, in my opinion. It is literally the most important moment in the book because it changes everything about what Quoth can do, right? And then towards the end, he regains access a different way, but that's another story, you know.
Man,
But
you've been
anyways,
holding that because we've had hours on the phone. You've been holding that one in. I have never heard that.
it is
Probably
it
keeps you
just
up at night.
Patrick, yeah, that when I read that, I was so taken aback. That subverted my expectations in a really bad way. Like that subverted the expectations of Quoth being of who Quoth even was. After that, I was like, I don't even know who this kid is. Like, is this kid actually like have I been lied to this whole time? Has he just been getting lucky? Like, what's going on? Or is this just dumb luck? I like, is this, I don't know.
Making characters too powerful or too knowledgeable takes away from the character's growth. It's why Marvel spends so much time trying to find ways to test and destroy Iron Man, like Quoth.
Yeah, it's you can do that. You can build up. You can have somebody that's as powerful and has as much potential as Quoth. You can do that, but it requires a very, very, very clever way to navigate that in terms of how do I introduce weaknesses to the point where Quoth has significant roadblocks, significant arch
point.
enemies that can actually outsmart him, you know? Because in reality, when you think about it, Quoth is so beyond his years that even Ambrose, as great of an arch enemy Ambrose is not really. It's almost like Quoth just forgets about him at times and just like forgets that this guy exists, and it just feels it's weird. It feels like the Ambrose and Quoth situation it's my least favorite part of the book. Even though I love Ambrose as a arch enemy, I just feel like the dynamic there isn't enough, at least maybe I just don't see enough of the genius of Ambrose. You know, it feels
well because you're only from Quoth's perspective, and that I think is
maybe that's part of it. Yeah,
it's definitely an issue for books to only be told from one perspective, one character's view of the world, one character's view of other people, how Quoth sees this woman, how Quoth sees this guy, this teacher, this Ambrose character. It's tough. And if you don't like the character, why continue to read? My mother-in-law, she only likes good characters for the most part. Quoth is an arrogant genius Mary Sue. The first time I'm reading this book, though, and usually the first time I experience things, I just try to block everything out. I try to go into it with nothing. I want to get lost and immersed in the world. And sometimes I become that little innocent child where even what happened in that moment, the moment that you were complaining about, surprised me. And it didn't deter me from it. I was like, oh, no. But looking back at it, maybe when I reread it, I may notice, oh, he did make Quoth way too smart going into this scene. I think that scene could have been impactful if we didn't see how smart Quoth was, and maybe he develops his or accesses his genius throughout the university, not before. And there it is right here. Here's another thing. How reliable of a narrator is Quoth? Not giving anything away, but yeah, you might see that in the second book too.
That's true, but the problem with that is that if you bring that up, then you question literally everything about the book, and that could be that could lead you down.
I try to get that out. I don't want to think about that. I still want to be lost in the book, lost in the story, and try to appreciate it for what it is. Then in hindsight, be like, okay, I get that. Maybe he was unreliable, but
and if he's not reliable, it's the job of Patrick Rothfuss to make it known at some point that it's Patrick's job. It's not our job to figure out whether or not Quoth is reliable or not. Like that should be clear at some point in the series. Doesn't have to be the Name of the Wind, but maybe in the next book or the third book, if it ever comes out, that there may have been some narration that wasn't totally accurate, because Quoth is imposing his own perspective, which may not actually tell the whole story, But that's definitely the job of Patrick. So I'm not gonna, I can't give Patrick a pass on that one,
I get that.
Yeah.
Quoth perfectly captures can't fail archetype. Being talented doesn't mean he can't be beaten, battered, and bruised. If anything, it's his talent that hinders him. He is smart but not wise.
Yes. And I wish that was more of the take that
That's a good point.
Patrick took
Mhm.
when it comes to being outsmarted by somebody else, is more of, okay, he's not outsmarted necessarily, but Quoth is so inward looking that he misses something. Like he thinks so highly of himself and thinks he could accomplish or he could outsmart anybody, that actually his enemy uses that to their advantage, right? Which was not the case when it came to Ambrose. Unfortunately, I would have. Yeah. I think that Patrick just, I think if he would have spent a little bit more time, like really trying to figure out a better way to really kind of, I don't know, just make Quoth somebody that could be beaten. Maybe make him less of a Mary Sue, or make him his own worst enemy. It's kind of, I know it's like I say it and it's simple, but I realize that is a very hard thing to write as an author.
It is,
it's a very hard thing to write.
I think, being 2 books in and a final book, Patrick has this vision of finishing up the trilogy. I don't think, knowing how Patrick writes, I don't think it's going to be there's all these loose ends.
Yeah.
All of these loose ends are not going to be, tied off with a little bow. That's not how life is. And I think that's a good story or that's a good book when you don't have everything resolved.
Yeah.
So going into a third book, I think I'm okay with it. I don't need everything spelled out for me.
I don't want everything spelled out for me. No.
But maybe he's written himself into a corner. And again, it's funny, we talk about Patrick Rothfuss. We're not going to be talking about Andy Weir, whatever his name is. What is his name?
Yeah. I don't actually know how to pronounce his last name, but I say Andy Weir.
I don't think we're going to talk about Andy Weir in the way of Patrick. I think Patrick Rothfuss definitely has some baggage, especially in the public eye. But for me, I just don't.
Well, yeah, but that's his own doing, though.
Yes, I know. But I'm saying it's what you focus on as a reader.
Mm-hmm.
Do you focus on the author more than the book? Do you focus on the man, not the message? Are you destroying your enjoyment because you're so fixated on Patrick Rothfuss and the problems and mistakes he's made and the choices he's made, that it's deterring you from experiencing this trilogy?
Mm-hmm.
I like to separate the author from the book. And a lot of people, when it comes to Name of the Wind and Wise Man's Fear, people fixate on Patrick Rothfuss and who he is, not what he's written. And I get a little sad about that.
I don't know anything. I mean, I don't really know anything about Patrick Rothfuss, to be honest.
Keep it like that. Don't let it ruin you. I mean, I try not to, study the guy.
I just know he's only written 2 novels. That's all I know.
Novellas.
And then a couple novellas, which, those are, I don't really count those as, those are more of this is like a little, it's like a snack, it's like, that's like the difference between making a 3-course meal and a grilled cheese sandwich. Like a novella is like a little grilled cheese sandwich that you can cook up real quick, But if you're having a real 3-course meal, some steak with some wine, that takes time. It takes time to marinate the meat.
Yeah, but also takes 3.5 minutes on each side to cook the medium rare steak on
Okay.
my cast iron.
Yeah, but you got to marinate. I'm saying there's prep work.
I know, I know, I know.
There's not prep work for a grilled cheese.
Good point. All right, all right, all right.
But anyways, and this is not me. Like, I'm not trying to dog on Patrick Rothfuss. I think he's an excellent writer. I wish he would write more. That's my problem. Is I'm like, dude, you're so good. Like, trust what you write.
I know,
Trust yourself. You know,
I know.
like he's so good. He needs to trust himself. I think that maybe he's letting the outside, people. Maybe he's letting the critics get into his head a little bit. And
I agree. I think that is
like,
a point that's happening.
Yeah.
He's spent a lot of time in the public light, which, I think is a kind of a bad thing for authors, in my opinion. I think some of the best authors I've ever, experienced and kind of have that, I don't know, desire to, let's look up an interview of them. Barely anything out there of Tolkien, barely anything out there of, Donna Tartt has a few interviews, but she likes to write one book every 10 years, which I love.
Yeah.
I love when an author takes their time writing, spends less time on social media, and that's just me, though, because I don't want the author to distract or take away from what they're writing or what they provide for us.
Yeah.
I think it's a gift that they even share the books they write. They don't have to do that. They can write a book and keep it in a drawer. The fact that
they want to make money too. So
yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point.
Let's not act like they're totally innocent.
But there is an art to it, especially with authors.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Tolkien, without C.S. Lewis, we wouldn't have gotten Lord of the Rings. C.S. Lewis was like, yo. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't like, yo.
No. But Tolkien's one of the few writers that he didn't write it for the money because he didn't need the money.
Exactly.
Unlike a lot of other authors.
But Lewis was pushing him.
Yeah.
Yo, you've got to get this done. Like, you are a perfectionist. Like, come on, man.
No, yeah, you're right.
And I wish, maybe I wish Rothfuss would seek some advisement, maybe some encouragement from other authors. But as an artist myself, granted, I don't write, but I am a perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
This has been the worst year of my life when it comes to my art. It's been very hard to get out of my own head and to just create.
Yeah.
I know artists have their own journeys, and they're going to be distracted by different things. They're going to take criticism differently. Social media is just constantly barraging us with compare and contrast. Oh, I'll never be good enough. There's always that one version I'm trying to strive to be that I can never be. Granted, that's my own little artistic journey that I am not able to, that I'm having versus, an author.
Yeah.
Words and film are two different things, but nonetheless, we are our own worst critic. And I think Rothfuss is definitely stuck in his head big time.
Yeah, I think he's an excellent writer that just needs to trust himself.
Yeah. Yeah. And we look at basketball players who are beyond talented that don't take that extra step because of where their attitude is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now, we're on a different subject matter. What else you got going on for Name of the Wind?
That was it. That's all I really. To kind of, summarize everything. I think I would 10 out of 10 times recommend this book to everyone. Well, specifically to people who actually want to read a well-written book, I would say. If somebody's looking just for like a nice little, let me just give me a fantasy novel with all the, typical fantasy elements, I wouldn't recommend this book. But I think that this book is very well written, excellent. I'm going to reread it once the third book comes out, but I'll also read A Wise Man's Fears. or fears or fear? Is it singular? I don't know.
The Wise Man's.
I keep saying a wise man.
I just say Wise Man's Fear, but
Wise man, yeah, wise man's fear. Okay, I'll just say that. I'll just say what you say.
that's okay.
Um, yeah, I think I mean, I will read that, but I'll probably do Lonesome Dove and stuff before that.
Dude, here's the thing.
I like jumping around. I like going
Yeah,
different genres all over the
that's
place.
good.
Right now, I'm in sci-fi. I'm reading Andy Weir or Wire. Tomato, tomato.
Whoa.
I'm reading his Project Hail Mary. The movie I liked it, but there's definitely some significant problems with the movie. But the book is better, but it's definitely not nearly as well written as Patrick Rothfuss's Name in the Wind. um, but I'm also not reading it for necessarily
Exactly.
the prose or anything like that. I'm reading it because I love sci-fi. I love real sci-fi that takes actual science and tries to apply it and is on the boundary of what, or not the boundary, but is at the forefront of what our scientific advancements are. And I love how it delves into some theoretical things that are real theories and stuff in actual astrophysics. It's not just pulling things out of thin air; it's taking it from real ideas. And I think Andy Weir he does really. It's a good book. I like Project Hail Mary. Just because I love science and I love sci-fi and I like seeing those two. I like seeing real science real science be used in books. It's a breath of fresh air to me.
Yeah, and where they've actually done their research.
Yeah, where they've done the research and
Have
and
interviews.
Andy Weir, he actually cares about the math and the physics and he cares about the actual elements of orbital mechanics and it's just and some people are gonna hate that. Some people are like, I don't care how they get there. I don't care, you know, I don't care about any of these things. I just want
They
to,
just read the dialogue.
yeah, I just want to read like a Star Wars story or something like
Yeah.
that. Um, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not sci-fi in my opinion. That's
Yeah, it
very,
was written
very
in
different from sci-fi.
I think it was published in 2021, so it's very fresh.
Yeah, it's more fresh.
And to get a movie just 4 or 5 years later, I think that's pretty surprising.
Yeah,
I think it's very
especially a movie that would require a lot of just production wise, it would seem like it would take a long time.
yeah.
Um, but anyways, yeah, I'm reading that. I'm almost done with it. It's a good book. I like it. There's also things in it where I learn. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that
Mm,
about space and stuff. And I love that when I'm actually learning about the real world,
mhm.
reading fictional books. I think you don't get that in very many books, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I like that.
I don't know. I mean, my friend Elliot, friend of the channel, but definitely a friend in real life now. He gifted me Hail Mary for Christmas. Very kind gesture. I genuinely don't know if I'm gonna read that book, sadly. I want to at least give it a try, but I'm not a sci-fi guy.
Well, if you're in a if you're in an inspired state in terms of like maybe, oh man, the Artemis 3 mission is coming up and you know I like space right now, if you're in that kind of mindset, I would definitely
Okay.
at that time I'd be like, all right, time to dive into
Yeah.
an Andy Weir sci-fi novel. You could read The Martian. The Martian might be more up your alley,
Yeah.
because it's more like Name of the Wind, where you're just kind of this one guy. Well, actually, actually, Project Hail Mary is the same thing. He's just one guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, in those moments when you're kind of like in a science, focused state, I would
Yeah.
give it a go.
It's tough. I'm currently reading Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. It's the second book in the Farseer trilogy. It gives me that itch of Name of the Wind, kind of a main character telling you his story. But I was reading last night. I'm about 170 pages in. I'm still loving what I'm reading, but there's something off about. There's something in my mind right now where I'm not invested.
Mm.
I don't know if life is crazy right now or something, but there's something about
You feel like it's just not interesting?
I wouldn't say that, but I think what I've noticed lately is how the pace of the sentences are. There's no difference. There's very few long sentences to break up the da 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 da. And
Yeah,
every sentence is like the same, I don't know, 7, 8 words. It's like boom, 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 boom. Um,
sounds like Project Hail Mary is a theme
but
song.
this was 1995,
No,
and
what I'm saying is, it sounds like the movie Project Hail Mary.
oh my gosh, don't give
The
me.
soundtrack.
Oh my.
Boom, 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 ding a dong.
Oh, one of the worst scores in cinema history. Something that is so not memorable, not atmospheric,
Not sci-fi worthy. That's for
not
sure.
sci-fi worthy at all. Very
No.
percussion.
Sorry, sorry for going on.
Anyways, now you're getting me started.
Sorry.
That's the thing. I may not read Hail Mary because of how I did not like the movie. I'm gonna have to spend 20 years away from the movie before I even revisit.
20 years.
Who knows?
Oh man.
I'm gonna have 5 kids by then, and I'll be too busy reading them Wheel of Time and Name of the Wind, and
At 3. Yeah.
yeah. But I love Royal Assassin. I love Robin Hobb. She does have a way with words.
Heard nothing but good things.
But there's something about it, I guess, leading up to this conversation, talking about Name of the Wind with you. Maybe I'm just craving that type of fantasy. Name of the Wind.
Yeah.
So much mystery, and this is very political, which I enjoy, and I want a little more politics involved, like some of that Game of Thrones.
I don't like political books.
But I'm not getting enough of that.
Oh, you're not getting enough. Oh.
I don't think I am. I think it's very.
You want that, but you're not getting enough.
I want a little more of that because
Okay.
I don't think I've gotten into that fully. I've never really been able to. Yeah, I haven't read a story like that. Hey, is it Wednesday already? Yeah, typically I have live streams on Wednesdays, but John was only available on Monday.
Sorry.
I'll try to get a video out on Wednesday, maybe Friday. Life has been crazy. We've been doing something almost every evening. Every day I'm out of the house, it seems like. So filming videos has not been a thing. So I'm not your typical booktuber. I'm not able to
You
post
gotta
every
lock in. You gotta lock in and read 80 books this month.
I know. I know this month is almost over, and people are going to be having their video
Yeah.
out where, hey, 15 books I read in May. And I've read 160 pages of one book. I don't think I've read a single book this year.
No, you finished Lonesome Dove, right? This year?
Yeah, in March. It's been April and May, dude. I've been in such a rut, a reading rut, where I'll start a book 50 pages in, and it's just not working. Something's off. And the reason why I read Dragonbone Chair, started it. It's the first book in a trilogy. That world building is very upfront. He's throwing a lot of names, a lot of words that are oddly spelled. Not as creative as Patrick Rothfuss or Robin Hobb, where they're going to stick in my brain. Very weird, I don't know, syllables and just letter choices and combinations that I just, how do I even pronounce that? If I can't pronounce it in my mind, how am I going to remember it? And how is that going to create, how's it going to stay with me?
Like name quote.
Well, okay, Kavothe. Like that took me about half a Name of the Wind to realize, oh, it's quote.
Same. Yeah, it took me halfway through, and I'm just like, oh, I've been pronouncing this wrong in my mind the whole time.
Yeah.
Couldn't have picked an easier name, Pat. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh, Writing Yogi got a new follower. Thank you. Wonderful discussion. Yeah, I appreciate that. That means a lot. I do a live stream every Wednesday, or at least try to have a video on Monday and Friday, but mainly Friday, live stream Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm a very slow reader, so if you come to my channel wanting me to review a book every couple days, you're not getting that. but you are
Wow,
going to get discussions like this.
dropping the ball. No, I'm just kidding.
I know I am dropping the ball. Hey, maybe Dark Tower is calling my name. Maybe I go to The Stand. Maybe I go back to Stephen King because he's just.
Wait, didn't you start Dog Tower?
I
Or
did.
you?
I'm 2 books in.
Yeah,
So maybe I did read a book this month.
you did. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
It's
You
just.
got something to offer. Don't worry.
It's just been tough. And it's like, okay, if I haven't read a book in this month, do I even make a video? What do I make a video about? What do I have to offer? It's tough.
This is a venting moment. I like it.
This
I like
is,
This
we
is
don't have to
raw.
talk about Name of the Wind now. We could talk
This
about
is-
other things.
This is raw right now. This people, you don't get this on many booktube channels right here. This is
No,
good.
you don't. You don't.
Yeah.
Oh, what do I do with my life?
You just read books.
Also, speaking of which, I got an interview. I told you I got an interview. Yeah.
Told me, yeah.
Yeah, I got an interview with Trader Joe's in a couple weeks. So it's going to be even less reading and less videos if I get this job.
Oh man, no, you're gonna be shooting some videos in Trader Joe's now. That's what we're hearing. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be reading the Trader Joe's. What is it? The Flyer magazine.
Yeah. I'll be reading that.
Give us a book review of that every month when it comes out.
Hey guys, these are the weekly items at Trader Joe's. Come on by and.
Hey guys, this is we got this new items for this
new frozen orange chicken.
Yes, this new ingredient. Then you can cook up.
You just need 4 hours a day.
That's a lot of hours.
4 hours a day for reading.
I think that or he.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's what they're saying.
I feel you. I'm about 1 to 2 months behind on my monthly book schedule. Yeah. I don't have a book schedule, and I probably should at this point. I should probably read.
I can't do book schedules just because life is too unpredictable for book schedules.
I know.
I
know. Life is crazy. We're just doing something with friends almost every week.
I have like book schedules in terms of like, okay, in this block of time, somewhere in here, I'm going to read this book, right? But not a, this date sort of deal.
Yeah.
Specific date. Trader Joe's shelf stacking as B-roll.
Yeah, B-roll. I'm going to open up my videos with me stocking shelves, be like, hey, welcome. The weather is beautiful out. I'm going to have a great time talking about books and Trader Joe's.
Sipping on some Trader Joe's coffee.
No, we got some nice local blend.
Good.
Yeah, I also might, for the lovely folks in the chat, it is official but not official. It hasn't happened just yet. I do have my first sponsorship.
Oh,
my first coffee sponsorship. Okay. And I cannot wait to just share this lovely company with you. It's going to be great. It's not G Fuel. It's not Red Bull. It's not Raycon.
It's Patrick Rothfuss. No.
Yeah, it is Patrick Rothfuss. I am going to be sponsoring his third book. No.
You just pull out the third book. Here it is.
Look at this. From favorite book to favorite fantasy book, The Lonesome Dove Effect. Yes. Yep. It's incredible. Name of the Wind for the longest time was the book that started my reading journey. It was the book that changed my life, changed my way of looking at books, how they could be read, how they could be paced, how they could be written. It's amazing. And then Lonesome Dove, the perfect book. The perfect book. And I mean that in every way. I can often become critical on certain things, certain books, certain movies. Hail Mary, Dark Tower. I'm a little critical of these right now. I'm a little negative Nancy right now.
Wait, you haven't even read Hail Mary. You can't be critical of it.
No, but the movie.
Oh, sorry. I thought you. Okay.
So, when I do like something, I want it to mean something. I don't want to just be a yes man and say, "Cool, I love it because everyone else is loving it." And Lonesome Dove has happened, to become quite popular on BookTube the past 6 months.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. And no, I get it.
I just got to get more coffee for 3 seconds.
Go get more coffee. I know I'm boring everyone.
I'm just going to go right there.
No, it's fine. But yeah, Lonesome Dove has changed my life again. I love it. So, oh man, I can't wait for John, my best friend, to read Lonesome Dove. I bought him a copy of it for Christmas, and it's going to be a good thing. We're going to have that conversation. I can't wait. That's all I want for my birthday is for you to start Lonesome Dove.
Your birthday? Oh, I can do that.
My birthday's coming up. So June 25th is my birthday, and then June 27th is your birthday.
That's right.
That's going to be exciting.
2 days apart.
Yeah.
We'll see. We might do a live stream just for that. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, here we go. We got a nice question here. Oh. How do you get attention span back, especially in this day and age of doom scrolling?
Love that. First of all, the fact that you're even asking that is...
I was just going to say that.
It's probably the first step.
Is objectivity, is recognizing I'm spending too much time on my phone. It's affecting me in this way. Let me step back and let me figure out how to change that. That's the big thing. Number one, recognizing the problem and then figuring out how you want to solve it, how you want to change. Little things here and there. Put your phone away. Put your phone across the room. Don't grab your phone the moment you wake up. Those are big things. And reading has definitely affected and improved my attention span. It's improved my way of having conversation. It's improved my way of listening, being present with people. What about you, John?
I think pretty much the same thing. I'll be honest. I don't have a doom scrolling problem. I
know you don't. That's what makes you the best man.
Sometimes I don't even know. There are times when I don't even know where my phone is. I'll leave my phone here at the house when I go to school, and I'll be like, "Wait, where's my phone?"
Yeah.
But I won't realize until I walk into. I'd say because my school's over there, but until I get to school and I'm just like, I don't even know where my phone's at. But I'll get to it later tonight. I'm sure I'll have some texts and stuff. So I don't necessarily. I'll just be honest. I don't doom scroll and do that, but I will say that just putting the phone away, just not, simple things like putting it on, just turning it off. Actually, I think turning it off is because even when it's on, even if you have do not disturb on, you can still look at it and still scroll through messages and stuff. If you turn it off for an hour, just an hour, maybe 2 hours a night, that you'll realize how much time is freeing you, or how much free time you'll get from that just by not looking at the phone, And so I know that's
connected to it.
Yeah. And I know that's very hard because I know people are like, oh, well, I have work and stuff, or I have kids, or, and that's all important. I don't want to minimize anybody's situation. But if you're able, just put the phone away, put it on the charger, put it, in the bedroom, or even better, put it, somewhere that
you can't
put it somewhere where you can't even see it,
out of sight.
Yeah. If you do that, it'll be weird at first, and it'll feel unnatural, like everything feels like in the beginning. But when you do that, you'll realize, okay, now what do I actually want to do? Like what do I actually like to do?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the phones, you think everybody thinks they gotta be on this thing and all the time, that it takes away from who you actually the things that you actually want to do.
Yeah.
So when you put it away,
hobbies, what hobbies should I do?
Exactly. Like sometimes people don't even have hobbies anymore. It's just crazy. It's like I'll ask people, oh, what do you do? Like, if I meet new people, just like, what do you do for fun and stuff?
And they're
like, yeah, it's like I just go to work and then go home and maybe I'll watch a movie, or I'll be on my phone till I go to sleep, and I'm just like, watching a movie, okay, cool. That's great. But being on your phone for the rest of the night after that, and I just can't. I don't understand how people do that. Well, I shouldn't say, like, for people that are struggling in the chat with that, I'm sorry. um, but I will say that just putting your phone away is, I mean, that's going to be the biggest help.
Yeah.
Actually a book that's about this that I read. It's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. It's a good book.
But also reading physically, the act of reading physically, having this book open, following words, over the past 6 years, it's just helped me. It's improved my life in so many ways. I'm playing less video games. Granted, I don't think video games are a bad thing, but my hobbies have changed. My hobbies have been reprioritized. And I think reading physically builds discipline.
100%.
10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. And in the morning or at night, Amanda and I, my wife, we like to go on coffee dates. We like to try to read at night before bed. When you're not scrolling on your phone, when you're following these words, you actually get a little tired. And it's actually a way to calm down because your brain is not strained. Your eyes aren't strained on the phone before bed.
Mm-hmm.
I think your dreams are not going to be as sporadic. I don't have any facts in that, but I do think you're just like going boom, 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 boom. And you're just seeing these visuals in your brain right before bed. I think that's going to affect how you sleep and how you wake up in the morning.
There are numerous scientific articles that have been written in the Science Journal about specifically this issue. And like you were saying, you don't have any facts about it, but there are facts. Like what you're saying is true. Like scientifically, it has been shown that reading before bed, putting the phone away for, I think it's 2 hours before bed, like not looking at it at all for 2 hours before you're actually falling asleep, has been shown that people they fall asleep better, and B, when they're sleeping, they get better sleep,
Mm-hmm.
Which are two things that I think a lot of people just don't get good sleep nowadays. So I think that it's reading, especially at night. That's my favorite time to read, is right before bed, getting in bed, reading. Sometimes I fall asleep while reading, sometimes I only read a chapter and I'll fall asleep already, but that's not a bad thing. I just think but sometimes the story is so juicy that I just got to keep going.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens, and that's a good thing.
But I'd rather my mind be, if I'm, constantly going in my mind, I'd rather it be in a story, like in a book, than on my phone, because even at the end of that, I feel like I'm giving my energy, what energy I have left for the day is given towards something that I know is beneficial, to me, as opposed to something that, I'm just doing this to get a dopamine hit, and then after I put this down, it's like the dopamine stops. Whereas reading, it feels like there's a dopamine hit, but it's not nearly as high. It's not as aggressive. It's more of a, I guess, a shallowed out parabola type of shape.
And I don't think it goes away, depending on the kind of reader you are. But for me, it never goes away because I'm constantly thinking about the book when I put it down.
Yeah.
And that's just the type of reader I am. I did do a video with Two to Ramble. They're a big booktube channel. They're great guys. They posted that video today. However, I'm definitely, I've been called pretentious and a snob, and it's great. But that video I don't think it gives a great impression of me, but I'm okay with that. I think.
What's the YouTube? Who are they?
Basically, the conversation is
Rambler?
with Two to Ramble.
Two to Ramble?
Number two to Ramble. And
got it.
The conversation is, are you a casual or are you a critic? And I am the critic. Granted, I don't like that label because I'm just an introspective reader, and I like to think about what I'm doing. I like to think about what I'm reading. I like to talk about the video games I'm playing or the shows I'm watching and how these things make me feel, why I like it, why I love it,
Yeah.
why I don't like it, and let's talk about it. And so, throw the critic label on me.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't
So
think
then,
that's.
and
And
then,
also
so
criticism,
yeah,
critiques, because I think critics get a bad rap because they're always, when we say critic, it's always like in terms of criticizing. But when I think about critic, it's more of critiquing, where it's like, okay, I'm giving you feedback, and I'm criticizing the part of that, but it's also like, it's also for the next phase or the next book that this novel or that this writer is going to write. Maybe they can take what I say and then apply a little bit of it or something like that.
yeah,
I don't know. So I think criticism is good. I think a lot of times we put them in a negative light, which I don't think is beneficial at all.
I think it depends
Um,
on how they critique. If they're actually providing something,
well, yeah. I mean, if it's a criticism where it's just like you suck, that's not. That's a first of all, that's a horrible critic that you shouldn't be
yeah,
listening to begin with.
yeah,
But if it's a criticism that has actual weight, and you can see, oh yeah, maybe there's some substance to what he's saying there. That's what he or she is saying. Then that's different. That's different. I think that's a good thing, and I think that you do that. I mean, I wouldn't call you a critic, but I would definitely think that you think more. You think deeply about things, more than the casual reader, for sure.
yeah, and sadly in the video, I'm staying away from the comments because I just look so snobbish, and I know I can be a snob at times, but I also like to read the room with the people I'm with. I don't want to ruin. I don't want to critique something for the expense of like someone's enjoyment. Like if people are loving Project Hail Mary
Hmm.
and I didn't like it, I don't want to just say I didn't like it just to bring this person down and say
No,
they're wrong for liking that. No, I'm going
no,
to provide why I didn't like that movie and maybe have a conversation about it rather than that other person just saying, "Oh, it's so good, so good, I loved it. Oh, it's great." It's like, okay, well, tell me why it's great. Let's have a conversation back and forth about it, and then maybe exchange ideas, exchange opinions. Doesn't mean we have to agree, but we can have a friendly conversation about a book,
yeah,
a game, a movie, an activity, and talk about why.
yeah,
And I've become that way throughout life. And I used to not be that way. I used to be a Call of Duty, buy your annual Call of Duty, buy your annual NBA 2K video game every year, eat it up, uh, and
got it.
just kind of play and have fun. Sure, that's okay. And it's okay to be a casual. Absolutely. But I yearn for asking why. Like, why do I love this? Why do I not like it? And thinking about it.
Yeah,
And I
that's
recognize that in you, how you love to dive deeper beneath the surface when it comes to
yeah,
talking about subjects of all sorts.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I can read a like Project Hail Mary. I'm reading because I like science and stuff, and it's not a book that is necessarily, uh, it's not like a critique on the on the way we view the world or anything like that. Like any grand, there's not like a grand, at least as far as I can tell, there's not some sort of great grand gesture that Andy Weir's there's no like, he's not saying like this is the way that we view the world and this is the way it should be viewed, sort of deal, where there's a lot of that in fiction. um, it's not like that. He just wants people to have a good time with some fun science and be taken on a journey, and I can do that. Like I don't need you to try to blow my mind in terms of, oh, I've never thought about the world in that light, or oh my gosh, like I don't need that. And I don't want that every single time. I'm not going to read if I read every single book like that. Oh,
Oh,
dude, it would be
exactly.
exhausting.
Yeah. I, and
I
sometimes
feel like I
to
would go
read.
insane. I would
Yeah.
literally go insane.
Yeah.
you know?
I don't want to go through life evaluating every single activity I do the big thing for me to kind of go back to doom scrolling is when I realize, is this a good use of my time?
Yeah.
Am I doing this activity just to turn my brain off? I think it's nice to turn your brain off every now and then, but also
Yeah.
with the right motivation.
Yeah.
Am I just playing this video game, this specific video game, to go through the motions of playing it? When I realize I'm doing that, I turn the game off, because I think I equate that to doom scrolling. If
Yeah.
I'm just respawning and dying, respawning and dying, respawning and dying in a Call of Duty game, that is just as, brain rot, like doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Or am I playing a card game where I have to pause and think and strategize? I think that's a good use of my time, every now and then. And with reading, good use of my time. It's not doom scrolling. I'm physically reading the words. So I try to do things with intention, and using my time wisely. I guess you could say I try to optimize my time as best as possible. But
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you only have so much time on this earth. So, do you want to spend all that time just getting your quick fix?
this is why I don't play Fortnite anymore. Roach, I'm sorry, man. He is a Fortnite buddy of mine. We went to film school together. I am like fully off Fortnite now.
Did you
I
delete
have
it?
not even thought. No, but I haven't
Uninstall it? Oh,
just haven't got on it. I just, again, I don't think it's a good use of my time
I
right
mean,
now.
the only time I've ever played Fortnite is with you. So,
I know, and even that, you and I are just so frustrated.
because Fortnite is more of a that's more of a social thing for me. It's
Yeah.
not really like I have no enjoyment out of Fortnite in and of itself.
The difference between journey and destination is precisely the difference between choosing the power of flight or teleportation. Whoa, I got to think on that.
Yeah, Toby, that's
Toby,
I need
that's a
to.
bit much.
That's too deep for me. I need to think about that.
Yeah. Short stories are the best way to avoid doom scrolling, like a reel for your brain. Could be a good palate cleanser too, in between a big book.
Yeah.
Speaking of books, right
Yeah.
now, let me just. Here we go.
Speaking of books, which we've been talking about for the last 2 hours.
Oh yeah, I know. I don't want to keep you so long, but
No. I got all day.
all right, good.
As long as the chat's got all
Let's
day.
just keep it going. Everyone, come on in. We're not talking about Name of the Wind anymore.
No. Come in.
All right, so I'm reading this book right now. It's a nice hardcover.
Yep.
It's a big one.
I hear it.
Okay. I'm only this far.
Okay.
I'm going to Utah on Thursday. I want to bring a book, but do I bring this? Do I continue on through? Do I keep pushing through? And this is not the easiest book to just carry around. Whereas something like, this I can.
Yeah, I see. What's
I can
that
throw
one?
in my bag. This is a Black Tongue Thief. This would be a reread.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm kind of pinned on that. Do I just try to bring a book that I can rip through in 4 days? Or do I keep pushing? I never really thought of that before. Usually I like to read all the way through until I'm done. But right now I'm kind of struggling between this.
I mean, I would read, the Royal Assassin. That's just me. I mean, I have a hard time like jumping around books. I can jump around books, but they have to be very different books. Like I can't do like 2 fiction books. I got to do either if I'm reading multiple books, it's going to be a fiction. One's fiction, right? One's going to be maybe a nonfiction, I guess, and then maybe like a little short biography or something like that. And then maybe I do read I guess they're under the category of self-help books, but I don't really like calling them that because they're not really, I don't know. It's just, I just don't like that
No, I get
The
that.
kind of books I read, it's not like, oh, how to have friends or something like that. It's not like that.
Yeah.
how to be the most interesting person in the room or something like that. I hate
Yeah,
those.
I see those videos all the time.
I hate
Well, yeah.
those.
One thing you can do to drive the conversation, one thing you can do to turn heads
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
restaurant.
If you say this, you're an idiot, and you got to say this when you start a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. If you said this, you've ruined your life forever. If you're not stretching every day, say hello to a hospital bed.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, I
That's a
do
good
like reading.
point.
I do like reading quote unquote self-help books that make me rethink about how I view certain aspects of things, which is cool. But anyways, all that to say, if I'm reading if you're trying to choose between one fiction book and another fiction book, I wouldn't do that. I would just stick to the
That's what I'm
one
thinking.
you got going. You know,
It's tough. It's like I would hate to, keep, because this whole month it's been that way. I start a book and I stop it, and then I go into another book, and then because I can't seem to find the right thing. But I'm already almost 200 pages in. I'm invested.
I mean, you're in.
I haven't been reading as much. But that's not an excuse to just stop and pick up another book.
Yeah.
I've never been that way. Why would I want to do that now?
If you're doing that where you just read 100 pages, move on to another book, 100 pages, you might as well just be doom scrolling at that point.
And at that point, I might as well not even have this channel, because that's something I do not want to encourage on my channel.
At that point, everything that you've been talking about on this channel is why.
You have now sold out. I have my first sponsorship soon.
Yeah.
So at that point, I am a sellout. But the sponsorship is a small sponsorship. It's going to be great. It's going to be something I'm excited about and to share with you, that I really hope you would actually use the discount code, like genuinely. I am so.
Is that all you can say, or?
Well, it's coffee related.
Okay,
so it's actually something that's near and dear to my heart. Granted, Jamie, I hope you're not watching this, but I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried the product yet. So he's sending it. What if I don't like it? And we've talked about this on the phone, him and I. He's like, hey, see if you like it first. I'm like, you're right. That's a good point.
Is it so he brews his own bean? Is that what this is?
I can't. I don't want to say.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to say. I want to keep it a surprise.
Good. I like it. Okay, very Patrick Rothfuss-esque.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just give us enough to be interested, and then at the end of it, you'll be like, actually, there was no sponsor.
Actually, there was no sponsorship. The blue flame meant nothing. Critiquing is the blueprint to improve manuscripts and to help others determine if they'd want to read that work. It's a great thing. There's nothing snobby about that.
I agree. Yeah. Without criticism, the world would be a monolith.
Yeah.
It would be very it wouldn't be as much improvement, over time.
We want critical thinking, and I think it's important to learn how to think, not what to think. Develop your own thoughts and do your own research on whatever it is, so then you can come and form your own opinion and belief, and then share those thoughts with other people, and then you guys are kind of building each other up. Or reading has been awesome. And I've made this video on my channel before about stop loving everything you're reading, because I think that's an important thing to do. You want to not like some stuff. You want to learn why you're not liking something, or why you love something. So if I'm reading this book that everyone else is reading, and I just love it because everyone else is loving it, well, I'm not bringing anything to the conversation. I'm not being honest with myself. But also, on the other hand, I don't want to be critical of something just because it's popular. Yeah. That's something in this video with Tutor Ramble, I feel like come off as purposefully negative for the sake of being negative. That's not who I am. And I know I may be confused like that sometimes.
Yeah. No, that's not who you are. You're one of the more positive people I've ever met, if I'm being
I
honest.
definitely try to be absolutely a glass 70% full.
70% full, yeah.
30%, it's
30% room for improvement.
30% room to grow
Yeah.
rather than a glass half empty, because that would be horrible. Coffee sponsorship, I'm in. Please
Let's
click
go.
description, like and subscribe, share this video, hit the bell icon. No.
Smash that subscribe.
Yeah. If I interrupt my current read to visit another, it's always a reread. That's a good point. That way I'm getting my hit of a story and aesthetics, but it's all familiar. There's no new information for me to worry about. And no new information to worry about, but also cross thread in between what you're also reading. So if I'm reading something new here and then doing a reread here, I don't think I'm going to be confusing the two stories as much, because one's familiar and one's new.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's a reread, that'll make it a lot easier, I think, for sure. Because you don't have as much to keep track of because you already know the world, which is nice.
I agree. Normalize not liking something. I reread books I don't like sometimes. That's also good, to revisit something that you put down before. I've done that a lot. I DNF a lot of books because if I'm not jiving with the writing style or the pace, something's off about it, I might take a break from it and give it a shot another time, because I don't want to necessarily write it off immediately. But that's the thing. You want to know why you like something and why you don't like something, so then you're able to compare and contrast.
Yeah.
Identify the problem of why you're not jiving with a book.
Yeah. Compare and contrast. Yeah. Yeah.
I've read Piranesi twice just to make sure I hate it. Yeah, I've done that too. It's like it can't be. It's got to be me.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out. Okay, let's try it again.
You're like, everybody else likes this. I'm gonna read it again.
I got to be the problem. I am positive I hated Piranesi. Yeah, that book that was tough. That was a tough one. Hi to both of you and everyone. Do you know if the coffee product will be available for shipping to Europe, or is it only in the US? Very good question. I don't know yet, but once I know and once I provide that sponsorship, I will definitely let you know.
He's got to taste it first to see if he even likes it.
I got to taste it first.
I got to taste it. What if? Yeah. What if you don't? What if you don't like it? Or
I'm going to be devastated if I don't like it. But I'm more positive on this than I ever have been.
Okay.
About anything.
Wow.
No, I don't.
That's a big statement.
That is a big statement. I think, without spoiling anything, I think the way this coffee is brewed specifically, I think there is a way for me to enjoy it more than your typical cup of coffee.
The way it's brewed, so it's already.
I'm definitely gonna send you some, or actually, I'm gonna have you click on the link and
I'll do that.
Me and the company.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. I'm excited. For this journey.
Do you have any new any lasting thoughts before we close up? Because we've been going on for 2 hours.
2 hours. Oh man, I think that's shorter than the last time, right?
No, we actually did. I don't know. Last time was tough because you and I we weren't able to really finish our thoughts.
Yeah.
Because we weren't talking to each other as much. We were talking more to the chat.
Yeah,
and then we couldn't really circle back.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe. Yeah, when the chat, when we're basically having conversations with like 15 people at a time, which can be tough. But to answer your question, lasting thoughts. Well, circling back to Name of the Wind, I would recommend to read this book. You know, I like it. I think it's worth your time. I think if you're looking for something, if you're a doom scroller that's trying to slow down, this is a great book for that. You know, like if you're like, man, I gotta really, maybe I want to slow my pace. I want to, yeah. I mean, I want to slow my pace. I want to put my phone away and really just kind of sit with a character. This is a great book. Well written, one of the best written books I've ever read. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That means something coming from
Yeah.
you.
Does it have flaws? Yes. Yes, it does. Does Patrick write himself into a corner at times? Yes, he does. Are there moments when I'm like, Pat, what are you thinking? Yes, there is. But he's such a good writer that all that pales in comparison to like what this book really is, and it's the fact that it's just a well-written, a good read that has a great story, so regardless of all those negative things, I would 100% reread the book and recommend it to anybody else.
And the sequel
Pat,
is good.
If you're watching this, Mr. Rothfuss, you did good, and you don't take my critiques here and there. Yes, there's some criticism there, and I think you should listen to it. But at the end of the day, you are a very exceptional writer, and don't let anybody tell you different. Because anybody that thinks that this guy can't write is just their criticism is not worth your time. That's what I think.
Agree. I agree. And here, Writing Yogi, the sequel is just as good, which is unusual. Yeah, the sequel hits on so many other things, and yeah, it's just as slow, maybe slower.
But if there's more to it, looks like it's a bigger book, which I want. So
yeah, let's see how much more it is. Oh yeah, it's almost 1,000 pages. Oh my god,
1,000? That's like an extra 300
right here, almost
an extra 300 pages.
Wow,
that's good.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Let's just read a sentence. I mean, are there? Okay, real quick, I got two more things. Let's just keep going here, if you're okay. Real quick, I got two things.
Yeah.
Number one, you mentioned on the phone when you finished the book, you got to the ending, and you were immediate. Like the last third of the book, you said was just the best, and it just kept you going. And you're like, I want to keep reading.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
The last third of the book. Yeah, because so after my complaint about the Ambrose situation, all that. After all that, the book was kind of on a downward trajectory for me, but then it came back up, and Patrick really brought it. He brought more mystery. He brought more interesting things into the story. Do you pronounce it Dana or Dina? Is it Dana?
Dana.
Or you do neither of what I said. You do Dana.
Okay.
Anyways, so I'll say Dana. Dana was, a very interesting character. I like Dana. When she came in, it really added a great dynamic to the story. As well as I love Quoth's friends. I never mentioned that, but his friends are so great.
Yeah.
They're like they're the most. I think that I wish that Patrick would really give more time to his friends, because they seem to be like the rock in Quoth's life, But anyways, all that to be said, because a lot of the third part, of the book is a lot of like just conversations with his friends, but also him discovering new things about how to use his magic, how he's learning and he's progressing in the university, and he's developing a relationship with, his friends and Dena and this other girl that lives down in the sewers. And it's just really cool. I feel like it really comes to life in the last third of the book, whereas the first half of the book, the first part of the book, you have a lot of great elements, and then something traumatic happens, and then you kind of go into this woe is me for like 15 chapters. woe is me, and my life is so hard, and this and that, which it is hard because something traumatic did happen. But anyways, so you're in that for a while, and then you go to university, and even at university, he's doing things, and then again he stumbles, and it's like, woe is me, I made an idiotic mistake, and so you're kind of in this. But then the last third of the book, he really comes back up, and Quoth is really kind of, he starts using his acumen for some reason. He starts clicking into gear all of a sudden again, and then he does it. And Patrick really is really good when he is I don't know. It felt like it was really good. And even the climax, which I had complaints about.
Good. Come on, John. Provide other words.
I mean, I'm trying to like skip, because I don't want to. I've already given the pros and everything, and the climax, which I've already given you the cons on. Even the climax, even though it wasn't what I expected, and elements of it, it wasn't what I expected in a bad way. But elements of it wasn't what I expected in a good way. Even in that, I still thought it was very well written, and it left a lot of mystery. And it was a good mystery. It was a good kind where I'm like, okay, yes, I feel like we're back where we started, but there's enough there to where I want to keep on this journey with Quoth, and I really like that. I really like the end. There's like a major scene that happens in the end, towards the end, and that was like, I think, out of all of the kind of major things that happen, like these sequences, which are like, oh shoot, like this is really changing the story. That was one of the best written ones, I thought, was at the end, in the end. And that one caught me off guard. I'll be honest. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is leaving," because it leaves mystery. Not only because there's like a mystery in the story that Quoth is telling, but then there's a mystery that's in the present day, right, at the end as well. So there's a lot of mystery, and it brings you back into that mystery, which honestly I kind of forgot about. So I was like, "Good on you, Pat." Like, Pat, you kind of you brought that back into it. You didn't just have us forget about that. Like he came full circle and brought an extra kind of, he really satisfied that palate when it came to the end there. So I will give Pat some praise. I like that. Yeah. It was good.
Dang, we got a little energy boost out of you. I like it.
Yeah. No, I forgot. I should have mentioned that when it came to my pros. I should have mentioned that.
Yeah. I completely forgot what I was going to say, but
good.
I'd be content never reading book 3. I just love more of these individual character novellas. Give me Denna novella. Give me an Elodin novella. Tell me about Abinthy and the love he found. Ooh, yeah. See, what I remembered was there's so many little things in this book.
Yes.
With how Patrick writes and how ambiguous he is, on a reread, you're going to pick up on new information. You were presented the information.
Yeah.
But then you see it in a new light. Like, whoa, wait a minute. That must mean this. Does that mean this? So the mystery is going to expand here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these questions are definitely going to lead to more questions, but still, the fact that his writing is so, for the lack of a better term, it's not surface level. It isn't just face value. Boom, boom, boom. No, there's depth to it that you have to kind of get underneath and chew on it, metabolize it a little more, so then you figure out, oh, don't take it at face value. There's more here. And there was an example, actually. He wrote a children's book. He read it to everyone. And then he reads it again, and it's like a different book. Just, wait a minute, what? Because then you see the words that he's reading, and then you see the pictures, and those pictures you see in a totally different light now that you're seeing it again. And it is incredible that he has that talent. I know there's plenty of other people that do that, but I'm amazed that he has such living, breathing words that don't die after they're read. They
sit with you. there's, like you're saying, there's more to chew on than that first bite, you know?
And lastly, we'll end with this real quick. Are there any moments?
In closing,
Yeah, we'll end on a positive note, even though
we're landing the plane,
landing the plane.
taxiing, but there's like 18 planes in front of us, so it might take a little bit.
Yeah, it might take a little bit. So grab another cup of coffee. Oh my gosh, I've been sitting. Guys, we are not designed to sit.
Oh,
Sitting this long, I just want to get up, get a little stretch.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. In closing,
In closing, real quick, here we go. Ooh, his prose is like a song, lyrical, vibing, rather than telling this is what happened and then this and then this.
Yeah, his prose uses a lot of poetry elements.
Yeah,
it can be poetic at times, which I didn't want to. It's a because I know prose and poetry are technically two different things, but I feel like he kind of he definitely toes the line between the two at times, which I really like. You know,
you would love The Last Unicorn. You'd appreciate it because it's the author from 1967, Peter S. Beagle, wrote a short little 300-page book, standalone. Finish it from beginning to end, all by itself. It's beautiful. It's art. It's lyrical, it's poetic, and it's Patrick Rothfuss's favorite book. And he wrote an introduction to that book, to this new edition. And if you read it, I'd say maybe read it down the line, maybe after Wise Man's Fear. You'll see immediately how it inspired Rothfuss directly.
Yeah,
it's perfect, and the cadence, the intricate word choice, every sentence is just boom, boom, boom. It's beautiful. And I would highly, highly recommend it to everyone. It's the only book I would just recommend to anyone, whether they've read fantasy or not, whether they've read a book or not. It's that timeless. It's that beautiful. Because I'd recommend that over Name of the Wind because of how accessible it is.
Yeah.
In the sense of being a standalone fairy tale. Because Name of the Wind is, you recommend this book to anyone who hasn't read, they're going to see this many pages and they're just like, no, they're not doing that.
Yeah, when I was reading it on the plane, the lady's like, "Oh my gosh, what are you reading?" And I'm just like, "It's Name of the Wind." And then we had a good conversation about it.
Couldn't read it because you were talking about it the whole time.
Yeah, when people see your book and there's like, "Oh, what are you reading?
What are you reading?"
And then you have a 30-minute conversation, and then you got to get on the plane, and you're just like, "Okay, there goes my time, my reading time."
There goes my reading time. Thank you.
No, it's good though. It's good to have conversation because I feel like when you have conversations with people about books, it inspires them to also continue to read.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to end on. Is any moments that you loved about this book, or any passages and quotes? Quotes.
Quotes. I mean, I'll have to look through the book again.
That's incredible that this was going to be adapted to the screen. I'm glad it didn't, because this. Sorry to interrupt.
Lin-Manuel. Oh my God, this can't be a freaking. If this is a musical, I'm gonna be.
No, here's the thing. Name of the Wind needs to be given to a European, like a Frenchman, a Dutch. It needs to be what I envision Name of the Wind as, like visually. Very foreign, very not common, not, there's no English. I felt very, I imagine Mads Mikkelsen. Have you seen, or Mikkelsen, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No, is it Mads? You know that actor, right? The dude that just looks like I imagine that.
He was in Rogue One, the dad.
Yeah, I imagine very European look, very exotic language. And I would want this to be a foreign film. I would want this to be subtitles, because if I'm looking at an American making this, I'm not going to be happy, because this is so otherworldly. It's not your typical fantasy book or world. Danish,
Yeah, I need
exactly. Thank you. That was the word I was. Danish, exactly,
Danish vibes. Okay.
exactly. Danish.
We need somebody like
Name of the Wind is
Denis.
too
We need
colorful.
somebody like Denis.
Name of the Wind is too colorful for Netflix to turn gray. Okay, Toby, I disagree. This needs to be gray. It needs to be darker. I think Name of the Wind
You think so? Oh.
tonally and thematically was darker in the world. I felt very gray skies. It didn't feel very happy to me. Especially when we would go into present day with, how dangerous the roads are and how, there's bandits and there's demons. And I love the use of the word demon, and that's such a open-ended term that you can just kind of put your own flair on the word demon.
Yeah, and then towards the end they talk about how they're actually, that's just a common term for it, but it's not actually a demon. Exactly. And I was like, okay. I like this. I like this world building.
Ooh, are you talking about Guillermo del Toro? That could work.
No.
Maybe.
That worries me a little bit.
Especially, I mean, it could work, but tonally, I think it could work with him. But I think I would want Thomas Vinterberg.
Vinterberg.
He did Another Round and The Hunt with Mads Mikkelsen. It's a Danish filmmaker.
Oh yeah.
I just love the way he tells a story. The way I could picture that with Name of the Wind being an adapted thing. What about you?
Chris Nolan. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Especially nowadays with that second trailer. Let's go!
Oh, I didn't even see the second trailer.
Did I just spoil it? All the dialogue is horrendous, but I'm not watching
the any trailers for any of the movies that I want to watch this year. I've already decided. Michael Bay. Oh man, Michael Bay would totally change the story.
Yeah, he'd make the dragon a dragon.
He would somehow make the dragon a transformer, and and he would somehow mesh Transformers and Name of the Wind for sure. Yeah.
Oh, this is kind of cool. I wouldn't mind seeing Name of the Wind being done in stick stop motion, similar to Wildwood by Leica Studios. Really emphasizes the folklore feel. Yeah.
Interesting. I think maybe the novellas would be good for that. Yeah. I just think it's interesting because Name of the Wind, it doesn't feel like it can be made into a movie, to be honest. Like it doesn't feel like it has the elements that would make normal people, the masses, want to see it.
That's another very good.
Just on a like a pure when I think about, because it's going to require, but also I feel like it wouldn't cost much money because there's not like a whole lot of crazy things that you would need for it, except for the end, but besides that, or the demons, right? But I don't think you would need, like, it would be much more along the lines of a Game of Thrones where you could, everything is pretty practical. You wouldn't need
very much so
a whole lot of CGI and crazy stuff.
Even the magic system, it's very internal.
Yeah.
You could easily do, practical with that.
Easily do practical, 100%.
It's not high magic. It's not high fantasy. It's very grounded, and I think aesthetically and visually, you'd have to get it right. It'd have to be grimy. It can't be happy. It can't be. I don't know. It's a very There's hopeful moments in the book, but there's not a lot of happiness. It's very I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. The friends are happy.
The friends are happy.
Simon.
There's just a lot on Quoth's mind. But okay, we're getting sidetracked again. Let's end it here.
I wonder though, but wait, I wonder, like, could you make a movie, like, the part where Quoth is getting beaten, he's like a kid. Maybe
Yeah.
they'd have to leave that part out. I don't know.
No, you got to bring that in.
But that's such an impactful part, that I think. But the reason why I was saying I don't think it could really be made in a movie is mainly because of the plot, right? The plot is not. The plot's honestly not. There's not like excitement in the plot, we've been talking about for the last 2 hours how mundane the book is, for the most part. So how do you make a mundane book? And it's a fantasy book, and paint like you have this fantasy this novel that everybody loves, but most people that are actually going to come and watch it are probably people that haven't actually read the book, so they're expecting, okay, let's Lord of the Rings part 2, situation. And then you come and they're not going to get that, and I fear that that might turn them off to continuing, making the movies. Because I would think that once the third movie comes out, I feel like maybe, okay, if we know exactly where this is going, maybe a movie would make more sense. But I don't know. When I was reading it, I was thinking the whole time, I'm like, this could not be made into a book. Into a movie. I don't know why I keep mixing those. Into a movie. This book cannot be made into a movie. There's no way. That's what I was thinking the whole time.
The plot is a guy telling the story of life within 3 days. Yep.
Exactly.
that it does not translate well to movies.
No.
It wouldn't work.
It works great in a book, but in a movie setting, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think. I'm sure some genius filmmaker could do it, but not 95% of these filmmakers out here. I wouldn't allow anywhere near making this movie.
Denis Villeneuve is too much of a sci-fi guy to do this. He wouldn't do it. But
yeah, if he did sci-fi and then he went to fantasy, how crazy would that be?
It'd be beautiful. But
that'd be amazing.
I would love for him to tackle something like this. It's never going to happen.
No.
But I could dream.
No, yeah, it's
but
not.
Mads Mikkelsen would need to be a master, a teacher.
You think him as a teacher?
And it needs to be Dutch. It needs to be in another foreign language because I couldn't.
That's never going to happen.
I know it's not going to happen, but
they're not going to make it in Dutch.
Hypothetically, though,
that most people can't speak.
I know, but you got subtitles, and it would sound fantastical. It would sound, I'm transported in another world, because fantasy nowadays, when it's translated to TV and movies, the dialogue is too cookie cutter. It doesn't transport me into a world. So I think what would help with that is to have something in a different language other than English. Just my opinion. Yeah. And I just love Another Round and The Hunt, the way those films are made. But again, they're grounded in real life, not fantasy. Thomas Vinterberg would not do fantasy, but I could dream.
Well, maybe it would. You never know. This is fantasy, but it's not your typical fantasy, book. So,
Tyler's trilogy has got to be in a TV series format. That is a good point, though. You're right about, it could be a movie.
Yeah.
But it could be, because not a lot happens. A lot could be montage.
I guess if you took all the quote unquote exciting elements.
What? You don't want a Texan narrating this story as per usual?
Honestly, yeah. A Texan, or, if I could get Samuel L. Jackson narrating this, that'd be
You mean Morgan Freeman?
No. Samuel L. Jackson. I want some heavy
No, you would need oh my gosh, what's that gentleman who was in he's a very thick European accented man.
Is it one of the
he was in this documentary about the bear, or a bear documentary, very famous filmmaker. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on it. He was in the beginning of The Mandalorian.
Okay.
Got a very distinct voice and face. He has to be in the film. He has to be.
He was in the beginning. I know what you're talking about.
Werner Herzog. Yes. Oh
Yes,
my
he
gosh.
that would be pretty good.
Pedro Pascal. Oh,
Oh no, Pedro Pascal.
oh,
Talk
good
about
call.
I need to like when I watch movies nowadays, I'm just looking for a palate cleanser from Pedro Pascal. That's all I look for.
A palate cleanser from Zendaya and Tom Holland
Zendaya,
and even Robert
Timothy
Pattinson. I'm sorry, the guys in
Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet. Yet Dune Part 3 is the only film I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, yeah, but oh my gosh,
Oh,
how Timothy Chalamet is gonna pull off that, I don't know.
okay, let me look up David. Let me look up this guy, David Attenborough. Oh. Uh,
Yeah,
Pedro is in everything else. Yeah, he would make
Pedro
good.
is. If he never made another film, I'd be happy.
Dude, I have to pee and you're making me
I would be so happy if he just stopped making films, just for maybe not never again, maybe like for the next like 20 years.
Okay, hold up. David, let's look up David Ottenberg. David.
David Ottenberg.
Oh, yes.
Is he good or?
That has to be Quoth when he's 100 years old. Look him up.
Oh my god, he looks like an old like a. Yeah, he looks a little. I don't know. I don't know about that guy. A lot of makeup for sure.
Oh,
What is he holding in this picture? Is he holding a mouse? He's holding a mouse in this picture. That's an interesting guy. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So he's done like all the nature documentaries.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
And Quoth then
Dude
goes
turned
to the
100.
back room and adds some spices to his ale.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, the narration would be well. Quoth is not. He's not super old in in the tavern. You know.
Of Manette. Oh, yeah. Well, there is okay. The funny thing is, there is a character that walks in and out of. I can't remember if it's the first book or the second book, but it's an offhand thing. It just kind of happens. A character and the name is mentioned. That character is Patrick Rothfuss's Dungeons and Dragons character that he uses in campaigns.
He walks in and out of a room.
Yes, it's very cool, and I want to know more about that character.
Do you know who the character is? For sure.
I can't remember the name. It starts with a V.
Okay.
And the cool thing about that, I love when authors do that because Steven Erikson, the author of Malazan, which is a behemoth of a series, this whole thing is based off of a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Yet it's one of the most, it's a very popular fantasy series, modern fantasy series.
Yeah.
And I just find that funny that, hey, my fantasy series is based off of an imaginary Dungeons and Dragons game where I roll dice with my friends and have beer and pizza.
That's great. I love that, man.
I mean, that's what I would want to do. I have a character that I would want to write from a D&D campaign.
I mean, you write about what you know, so it makes sense. You know, as an author, you write about what you know.
We could have an entire discussion on the connection between Manette and Elohim. I love the names.
Is it Manette? I always thought it was Monet, but
I love the names.
You're probably right, Manette.
In this book, the names of towns, the name of
good names,
things and people.
Well, he only has to name like 3 towns, so it's pretty easy.
Isn't that nice though? That's a benefit.
Yeah,
that's a big benefit because I just think too many fantasy series are just trying to like, oh, there's that town way over there and over here, and with Royal Assassin, you're just in kind of one area, and then there's a forest, and that's about it for now. It's very easy.
Yeah, I love the discussion with the swine herder near the end because it's like, oh, finally not finally, but oh, this feels like a very different like area in the world, you know,
He's got a big map,
but not much explored.
but not much in it.
Yeah.
And I think that is actually a benefit and a reason why I love this series so much, because of how the world building is so intimate that he doesn't overextend. He's not wasting, I hate to say, he's not wasting the reader's time with the world building, because he's not giving you useless information. All of it pertains to something.
Yeah.
So when the world does extend or grow, that it means something. Oh, we lost John. Did you text me something? What do you want?
I'm just reading how many. There are 9 towns in the whole continent. There are 9 towns.
Well, that's what makes it so ancient.
This is the 4 corners of civilization, and they've only mustered up 9 towns.
Dang it! Now we found a flaw here.
In the 4 corners of civilization, this is all of civilization that we know of. 9 towns. I don't know why I think that's so funny. I mean, there's regions that, you know, in the north and in the south on this island that are alluded to, but you don't know of any of the towns, which is kind of it's fun. It's a good time. Yeah. Oh man, I just think
a great map, though.
It's a good map. I mean, it's
simple, it's intimate.
It's vague enough to keep me interested, but there's enough in it to where I'm like, oh, what's this ship over here about? What do they do over there?
And there's like this straight stone road.
It's the straightest curve. It's the curviest, straightest road I've ever seen.
Just, whoop. He was drawing it, and he's just like, zip, that's it.
Yeah, he's like, how do Pat, he's so great. He's just like, how can I do the least amount of work when it comes to world building?
But again, that's what I think makes his world building so
he focuses on the characters more than the world building. Let's just say what it is. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, you know.
Harbalin the Great. I love that short story within that
yeah. That's honestly like that's like the most world building you get is during that story.
So good. If I could just sit in that tavern and just listen to these little stories. And there's a lot of theories of that story connecting to the bad guys.
Yeah.
And there's some parallels maybe.
Yeah. And maybe you're thinking about that story throughout the entirety of the book after you read it. You're just like, it keeps kind of coming back. At least it did for me. It kept coming back into my mind, which is nice. You know, it's fun. I
love it when fantasy maps just show a portion of a country or wider continent. The map of Temerant reminds me of 6 duchies in Realm of Elderlings, like that, or The Witcher. Exactly. So look at this. This is the map of the Farseer trilogy. It's very simple.
Yeah.
You pretty much spend a lot of your time just right here in this little bay. And it doesn't overextend. It doesn't drown you in names. And that's why I like this so much, because I don't have to do a lot of homework. I can be connected to the words and the story emotionally.
Yeah. Unlike Game of Thrones, where you need an Excel spreadsheet of how many names.
Amanda's calling.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is everything okay?
This is when you know you've gone a long time, is when we start answering phone calls on here.
Yeah, by the way, we're still live. I don't No, but it's okay. No, it's fine. Just.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Well, hey, I love you. You okay? Okay.
It's an intimate moment here.
Okay. Okay. All right. I love you. Bye.
You don't get this on other booktube channels, I'll tell you that right now.
Oh my gosh.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, just someone, she had a rude customer today. Someone threw a drink at her.
Oh my goodness.
I don't like that.
A drink? Like I mean, she works at a coffee shop, so I'm assuming.
Yeah, but
Hopefully,
we
this
won't say
wasn't
which one.
what?
We won't say which coffee shop. But
Oh,
wow,
yeah, we won't
that's
say that.
crazy.
Wow.
Well, anyways,
On that note, no.
on that note, I mean, it is 12:20, and we've been going for almost 3 hours.
Yeah, maybe it's time to wrap her up.
Probably
Yeah.
it's time to wrap up. I was gonna ask, hey, are there any passages or favorite moments that you liked?
You
But
did ask that, but
and then we
didn't-
just talked about the movie
I didn't answer.
for an hour.
Oh, I think I remember this one. Here, let me read it to you.
Okay. I'm gonna go get a banana. Because my stomach is eating itself.
Oh, where's that?
And then after this, I'm gonna call my wife.
Never mind. That's not the spot I thought it was. Sorry, all that for nothing. I don't have any specific. I don't remember. I don't know. I just remember moments, but I don't remember like specific lines.
Hey, Vinch 24. I really appreciate you
Thank you for your time.
tuning in and yeah, giving your time to us. We're just hanging out, talking books. I should probably just not talk with a mouthful of banana.
Yeah. Or maybe you should.
Maybe I should, because I guess they don't get this on other booktube channels.
They don't get
I
this.
can subscribe, everyone. I'm kidding. Don't do
Like
that.
and subscribe.
Actually, unlike the video and don't subscribe, because
This is turned into a Joe Rogan podcast length right here.
oh gosh, I know. It's like aliens.
Aliens.
Okay, no, we're not gonna.
Conspiracies. Okay.
Yeah, conspiracies. Yeah, all that stuff. Okay, so real quick, Toby has. I know. I'm so sorry for ignoring you, Toby.
My favorite at 59.
Yeah, he said chapter 59. We're gonna get to that, and then we're gonna read it together.
The whole thing. Wow, I turned right to it.
Wow, you did. Okay.
Oh, it's just the one. Yeah, I remember this chapter.
Hold up. 50 what? 9?
59.
All right, here we go. I'll read a paragraph and then you read the next paragraph. So I'm only gonna read the
We're
first
just reading the book.
Yeah, we're gonna read. Okay, everyone. This is Toby's favorite chapter.
It's not a long chapter, so don't
Not
worry.
a long chapter. It's
Very
only this
short.
long. Very short. It's one like this long.
Yeah.
So tune in. And we got okay. In the fullness of time, and with considerable help from Daok, Willem. I don't know how to spell that name.
I always thought it was douche, but no.
Oh my gosh, John. Daosh and Willem, I became drunk.
Thus it was that the three students made their slightly erratic way back to the university. See them as they go, weaving only slightly. It is quiet. And when the belling tower strikes the late hour, it doesn't break the silence so much as it underpins it. The crickets, too, respect the silence. Their calls are like careful stitches in its fabric, almost too small to be seen.
The night is like warm velvet around them. Golly, no one writes like Rothfuss.
Warm velvet. It's beautiful.
Warm velvet. See, those are words that you're just like, how do I even comprehend that? But I'm feeling something right here.
Yeah.
The night is like warm velvet around them. The stars burning diamonds in the cloudless sky turn the road beneath their feet a silvery gray. That is intention. I know I keep interrupting.
Can you just read it? Okay.
It's amazing. I haven't read this book in 6 years.
Delicious. Yep.
Yeah, delicious is a term. That is how you describe this book.
Delicious.
The university in Imre.
We don't even know how to
I know,
pronounce
we don't even know.
the main town.
The main town, Imre, are the hearts of understanding and art, the strongest of the four corners of civilization. Here on the road between the two, there is nothing but old trees and long grass bending to the wind. The night is perfect in a wild way, almost terrifyingly beautiful.
The three boys, one dark, one light, and one, for lack of a better word, fiery, do not notice the night. That is so interesting. They don't notice the night. That
Because
like,
they're drunk.
yeah, that's what's crazy. Is that's just like, I've never heard anybody describe being drunk as just not noticing the night. You know,
He describes the surroundings, and
Right.
then he's like, "Hey, they don't notice it.
and they don't notice anything.
I
That's
don't
cool.
notice
Yeah.
what I just read."
They don't notice the night.
Yeah.
Oh man, perhaps some part of them does, but they are young and drunk and busy knowing deep in their hearts that they will never grow old or die. They also know that they are friends, and they share a certain love that will never leave them. The boys know many other things, but none of them seem as important as this. Perhaps they are right.
And how he uses the term "perhaps,"
Perhaps.
because nothing is ever so
Perhaps they're right.
concrete. Toby, unbelievable chapter.
Great chapter, Toby. And that kind of like emphasizes it kind of shows what I was kind of talking about earlier. There's just that relationship between him and his friends. It's so beautiful.
It is. And I've never felt, I feel more connected. Sorry to throw Harry Potter under the bus, but I feel more connected.
J.K. Rowling is going to be.
No, I feel more connected to these three friends than I ever did with Ron and Hermione. No, but I will say Harry Potter was such a fun read. It felt cozy in elements that brought me to my childhood. The sleepovers, when Harry has to, he's spending the night at Ron's and their giant, tall tower of a house with these little small cramped rooms. It's cozy. I love that. But that right there was, no one writes like Rothfuss, not even Robin Hobb.
It's very intentional. Every word is very intentional in describing. And even that, like I was talking about, like it's just the most mundane situation. Just two friends like walking. Yeah. There's not even any dialogue. It's just like they're out there. And it's like, but that's where Rothfuss is really, that's where he's at his best, is in those moments.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well then let me find one real quick one.
Okay, you do it.
No, one more. Hold up.
Well, we might as well. We only have another 2.5 minutes till 3 hours.
Let's hit the 3 hour mark.
We might as well hit the 3 hour mark. All right.
Why don't you find one?
This would be.
Where is it? There's this one that's like he talks about autumn.
I just love the names of these chapters too. Walking and talking. That's one of the names of the chapter.
Oh man,
so good. And then another one is leaves. Leaves.
Wait, which chapter?
I guarantee you, he's talking about leaves for most of this chapter.
Oh, right here, A Beautiful Day, chapter 2. Let's just read. Let's read just the first paragraph. This is crazy. You're not getting this on other BookTube channels.
No. See,
I'm surprised we have 22 people. Imagine 22 people in your living room right now.
We're showing them that we actually like physically read these books.
Stop. We just lost 4 viewers right there.
Oh shoot, my bad.
Yeah, what the heck? Yeah, they're just like, the people are thinking these guys are so boring. Okay. Chapter 2. A Beautiful Day. Stop. Zendaya would kill that chapter narration.
Oh my gosh, Zendaya.
She'd read it like this.
Pedro Pascal.
It was one of those perfect autumn days, so common in stories and so rare in the real world. No, I'm kidding. No, Zendaya, she'd kill it. She'd do good.
Yeah, she'd be all right.
It was one of those perfect autumn days, so common in stories and so rare in the real world.
Okay.
No, let's see. This is that type of book that you read a sentence and you just, what? How did you put those words together?
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like that's one of the easier ones, but that's one of the easier sentences.
I'm gonna pee my pants. I haven't peed in 4 hours.
You're not gonna get this on other booktubers.
No, you're not getting this on any other booktubers channel. Okay, let me finish.
Oh man, this is good.
The weather was warm and dry, ideal for ripening a field of wheat or corn. On both sides of the road, the trees were changing color. Tall poplars had gone a buttery yellow, while the shrubbery, sumac, encroaching. See, I don't read books, guys. Encroaching on the road was tinged a violet red. Only the old oak seemed reluctant to give up the summer. Ooh! And the leaves remained an even mingling of gold and green.
Juicy.
Not the best, but probably the way I read it. But my gosh.
I'm gonna have to reread this.
The weird in me would get velvet warm, then just rub it on my face. That one way to feel it. This is the biggest let 'em cook of all booktube time. Yeah, we're cooking for another 4 more hours. We're getting
but wait, let me read the second part.
No, dude, stop.
So after you describe that beautiful, after Patrick described that, this is what comes next. This is good. Everything said. Everything said, you couldn't hope for a nicer day to have a half a dozen ex-soldiers with hunting bows relieve you of everything you owned. I just love how he just. That being said, I'm about to get just everything I own is.
This beautiful day, but that's the contrast. You have this beautiful day, and then he's just robbed.
I love that. Chronicler. I love the way that Chronicler speaks as well in this book.
And how he's introduced.
Yeah, how he's introduced.
It's the only time you change perspective.
Yeah, that's true. You begin.
The only other character.
Actually, don't you begin in his perspective?
No, you begin when in.
Or no. Oh no, you're right. No, never mind.
Well, chapter 1, the prologue is always a omniscient kind of overlooking drone shot of the inn.
Yeah, never mind. No, you start in the inn. That's right.
Oh my gosh. I think we could just keep going for just read the book, I love it. There's still 21 people here just hanging out, just watching us flip through our books.
Let me just read the acknowledgement of just even the acknowledgement.
Let's actually just read the intro. To my mother, who taught me to love books and opened the door to Narnia, Pern, and Middle-earth, and to my father, who taught me that if I was going to do something, I should take my time and do it right.
And you did. You did,
Pat. You did, Pat.
Acknowledgements to all the. No, I'm kidding. Oh my gosh! So this
the writer Patrick Rothfuss, to be identified as author of this work, was asserted by him in accordance with copyright designs and patents. Okay. That's just amazing word choice.
Okay.
I'm gonna just flip. All right, this is what I'm reading right here. Hope. Oh wait, this was.
I love how the prologue and the epilogue starts. It starts literally with the same line, or not exactly the same line, but. They both start with "It was night." Well, the prologue starts with "It was night," and then the epilogue is "It was night again."
It was night again.
Oh man!
All right. Well,
Pat, you did good. You did good.
I appreciate everyone tuning in for 3 hours. This is the longest stream I've done.
It's the longest one I've done. That's for sure.
And I appreciate you, John, for hanging out, bringing this wonderful conversation, and taking the time to read my favorite fantasy book.
Hey, it was time well spent. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat.
Well, I appreciate it. And next time you see us, we'll be talking about Lonesome Dove. Is that going to be officially your next Your next read?
Uh,
I sure hope so. You better.
probably.
For my birthday. Come on.
You know what? It's summer. Summer's coming up. Summer's definitely giving me Wild West vibes. So I like that. Yeah, I'll probably read Lonesome Dove.
I hope so.
It'll be good. I'll be kind of itching for something juicy, because as much as I like Project Hail Mary, it's not a juicy, book like what we just read. How you could read the same sentence like 6 times
And
because of how much
every time.
you can extract from that one sentence.
Warm velvet. Okay. Wait. No, okay. I promise you.
Okay.
This is it. I promise you this is it.
We were
right here. The lightning or the narrow. There is.
I apologize to the viewers.
There is a turn. Look at this. Oh my gosh. No, we're ending here. I love it. Hey, Toby's just like, good talk.
Even Toby's tapping out. He's like, I gotta get
guys. But right here, there is a way he describes. No, let's just end it.
It's too much.
Let's just end it. This feels like okay. He's still here. All right.
No, this feels like the post-credit scene.
There is a way I'm just gonna read it right now. Bast almost made it out the back door of the Waystone Inn. Technically, he had made it outside. Both feet were over the threshold, and the door was only a crack away from being closed. Then he heard his master's voice and went perfectly still. He knew he hadn't given himself away. He was intimate with every subtle sound the inn could make. Not just simple tricks a child would think clever. Carrying their shoes, leaving creaky doors open ahead of time, muffling footsteps on a rug. No, Bast was better than that. He could move through a room barely stirring the air. He knew which stairs sighed when it had rained the night before, which windows opened easy and which shutters caught the wind. He could tell when a detour out and over the peak of the roof would make less noise than the straight way through the upper hall. That would be enough for some, but on rare occasion, when he actually cared, Bast found success as dull as ditch water. Let others settle for mere excellence, Bast was an artist. Because of this, Bast knew true silence. Because of this, Bast knew true silence was unnatural. To a careful ear, silence sounded like a knife in the dark. So when Bast glided through the empty inn, he played the floorboards like an instrument. A sigh, a pause, a click, a creak. Sounds that would catch a guest just drifting off to sleep. But to someone who lived there, it was nothing. It was less than nothing. It was the comfortable sound of heavy timber bones settling slowly into earth, easy to ignore as a familiar lover stirring next to you in bed. Almost done here. Knowing all this, Bast eyed the door. He kept the bright brass hinges oiled, but even so, he shifted his grip and lifted so the door's weight didn't hang. Only then did he ease it slowly closed. A moth would make more noise. I just wanted to get to that part right there. A moth would make more noise. I know I read the whole intro to a book, but that contrast.
Yeah.
A moth doesn't make any noise. Yeah. I mean, no one writes like Rothfuss. I'm telling you.
That was good. You're right. Ryder who's tapping out. They're
no, we're done. We're done.
That was good. I need to read that. That was the narrow. Wait, what was
Narrow Road Between Desires.
Okay.
Short little novella.
That's the one about Bast, right? Yeah. Okay.
It's good stuff. It's about nothing. Nothing happens, but it's so good.
Bast is also one of my favorite characters in the book because there's so much mystery that he's shrouded in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a moth there?
There's a moth, and A moth would make more noise. All right, everyone. This is it.
Oh man,
We're done.
we're done.
It's official. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out. John, thank you for your time. And if you haven't read Name of the Wind, give it a try. Let me know
Please
what
do.
you think. And yeah, until then, yeah.